Evick.
Now you're walking with the day. Walking with the dead. Now you're walking with the day. Walking with the dead. Now you're walking with the dead, my friend. The dead, my friend. Yeah, now you're walking with the dead.
Yeah, y'all know what time it is.
Cheering on.
Yep, extended applause for me tonight. Extended applause for bringing such a cool dude onto the show. Pete Evick from the Bret Michaels Band. How you doing,
Brother
sir?
Erik, I am wonderful, and I'm completely blown away to get to come on and do this with you. And sometimes I gotta be honest with you, I get a little jealous. I see you're doing it, and I'm like, I want to be on that. I'm not gonna watch it.
You should do your own show, man.
Well,
From the Death Star there. Look at that, guys. He's got the Death Star behind him, the panel. I recognized it right away when he showed up tonight.
Right. My son built himself one and didn't tell me about it, and then realized that I was going to want one. So he built that for Christmas for me one year. Greatest gift I've ever gotten.
That looks so cool. How did he mold that, or is it wood? What is it made out of?
It is wood. I didn't ask him any questions.
Man, he did a good job at that.
Yeah, it looks so great, and it's got the LEDs. I can change the lights around on it and stuff, and change the colors. But I like the purple, so
that's cool. When you're like mellow Death Star, you go like a low purple. When you're like party Death Star, it's a red or something.
Well, when you put the red on, the red looks great. I was looking for the remote to try to do it.
Yeah, well, let's see what it could do.
Blackout
in the red room.
Jizzy Pearl, buddy, Jizzy Pearl.
That's right.
Let me see if this is the one.
Let's party.
That was a little Spicoli.
I have these. One of these two remotes is it, and I don't know.
It's doesn't appear to be either one, sir.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
Either way, it's cool. I had the. Did you ever? I'm sure you had the Death Star itself toy, right? Yeah.
The real one in the 70s.
Yeah, the 70s one. I mean, it was kind of a cutaway version of it.
The orange
trash compactor was cool. I mean, I didn't realize back then that it was the little creature in there was basically the Loch Ness Monster, right? I mean,
that's
pretty
right.
much.
That's right. You know, I'm sitting in my studio, and it's funny. If we want to just get right to Star Wars,
yes.
I open up my studio drawer that is full of nothing but cords and just, auxiliary stuff. I have a Ziploc bag that contains the original Kenner Boba Fett.
Wow.
And the original Kenner R2-D2.
Uh-huh.
And the C-3PO. And the Han Solo and the Chewbacca. And surprisingly enough, Hugh McDonald, Bon Jovi's bass player,
right,
is a good buddy of mine. And his son is an incredible musician, plays kind of Rammstein type of stuff.
Okay.
And one day he came to my gig. The son came to my gig and gave me those as a gift. His name's Jake, and it was cool. If you ever get to see Jake play, I don't know. He was in a band called Guillotine. What a great name! Who has not used that name yet? Like that a young kid got that, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And
didn't Motley had a song with the "Isn't Too Young to Fall in Love"? Didn't they have that lyric in there about a guillotine?
Run for the Hills, Rose Interstate. The word guillotine is in that song. I can hear it at the top in my head. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. It's not Star Wars, but when you pulled out the little Ziploc bag and you had that, I have a little Ziploc bag here, and this is now like the second thing I got into after Star Wars was G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I missed it. I missed the G.I. Joe stuff.
But you probably had the earlier ones. I mean, even my dad had the big G.I. Joes.
Yeah, right.
They were around from the 60s, but you weren't into that, though. You're like, no.
Yeah, I love
But
the
anyways,
movies. Me and my kids later in life, the GI Joe movies I thought were great, but I just wasn't into the toys much.
okay. Well,
Let's see it though. Let's see it.
oh no, okay. This is something you'd have to be a real GI Joe fan to even know what it is, and I don't even know what I'm going to do with it. But this is Duke's windsurfer. I have the pieces to it. It was like a windsurfer, and you had to like buy a certain amount of GI Joe stuff and get the proofs of purchases
Oh yeah, right.
to
That's
send
how you
out
get that
for
Boba
it.
Fett. Right.
Yeah, like in Star Wars, they got that from the Kenner
Kenner, yeah.
marketing strategy of,
So do
hey,
you know that character, the windsurfer?
the character, the windsurfer. Well, that's like a Marvel character, right?
I don't know.
Oh, the windsurfer. No, this was just an accessory that you could mail away for. That I think it came with Duke. Like at first, Duke, who's
Duke's the character, and that
yeah,
was,
he's a character. He was like the leader of the GI Joe guys. But when he was first introduced, the only way to get him was to mail away for him. And I think it was like a windsurfer or something like that. But I remember having to do that with Star Wars stuff. They said, hey, the only way you could get this toy, they were like, playing the exclusive.
yeah, that's how you did it. There was one time Star Wars had a Luke Skywalker Dagobah accessory kit that you had to send away for, so
Right.
that you could get his backpack and some different tools and stuff like that. Yeah,
Right.
I was a fanatic.
The marketing on Star Wars was like for the toys was a whole nother level that
Yeah,
any movie had ever done or anything like that.
yeah. And, it's funny you say that because I was just talking about. I'm still a Star Wars fan, and I've gotten to be good buddies with Brendan Wayne, who is John Wayne's grandson, who is the actual guy that actually plays the Mandalorian.
Wow.
Everyone thinks it's that other guy, but it's only him.
Dan, do they think it's Dan DeLorean?
But it's the one guy that's a real super hot famous actor right now. He was just in Fantastic Four. He's the guy that does The Last of Us, that series, The Last of Us. I can't remember his name, but that's only when you take off the helmet is it that guy. But Brendan Wayne, who's John Wayne's grandson, is the guy in the mask. And but we were talking about the new movie coming, the new Star Wars movie coming is the Mandalorian Grogu, and I don't know if you keep up, but there's an incredible lack of marketing for the Star Wars world about it. And
Interesting.
it's got to be a success because a lot of people hated those last couple Star Wars films.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first one since I think 2016, almost 10 years or 10 years maybe, or 2018. And do you even know it's coming out? Have you heard about it?
Well, no. And I mean, how many generations are going to stay with
Right.
a story?
Yeah.
I mean, we were kids then. This was like, I was like 5 years old when my grandparents showed up one day at the house and had R2D2, the R2D2 that Pete was showing you earlier. It was just really small, didn't do too much. You could turn its head, it goes click, 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 or tick, tick, tick. But I was like, what is this? And then she gave me C3PO. And I think the next one I got, who was the third Star Wars I got? It might have been a Han Solo or Luke or something. I ended up with the first like original ones. There was like 10 of them or something.
Right. Yeah. With Obi-Wan Kenobi, the original.
When the movie came out, though, oh man, that like was I was so into it, and the soundtrack. I had the Star Wars vinyl.
Oh, I have that. Yeah.
And the music was so emotional for me. It's funny because it just sounds like old, not Western movies, but just old productions of grand music,
Right.
classical music. But I loved it, man. I would listen to that soundtrack all the time, and it totally moved me. As a kid.
What's funny is at home I have a band, my band Evick, that was my band before I was in Bret's band, but we only play once a year, and we do what's called the annual New Year's after New Year's show, and I usually do it the week after New Year's, but kind of throw a New Year's party, and I do it in my hometown in a club that used to be a movie theater that is the club I saw, that is the movie theater I saw Star Wars in. And
Rad.
so every year when we play and I'm standing on a stage and I look behind me and think that's that right there is after all these years, it's where I saw, the movie that really set me on my path in a lot of ways. A lot of who I became because of my love for that movie. It's funny how that I don't know if you have anything as a child that was so big to you that it's still part of your life, not like a kid and a toy.
Pete,
Just,
I still use the Force all the time.
do
You know what I
you?
mean? Did you identify with Luke because you have the blonde hair? Like, did you buy some cargo pants and run around, or like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, I would think you would be the Luke guy. I kind of was more the Han. I was a Han guy
yeah. I got you.
myself.
It's funny. I I wish I could swing my camera around and show you, but I was a Boba Fett guy. I Even though he only had like 3 minutes of time in
Right. He
those
was my
movies.
favorite figure. I think. He was the
Yeah,
coolest looking dude.
yeah. But I have all kinds of. I have more Boba Fett memorabilia than probably anybody, and I don't know which arm it's on, but I long before the Mandalorian movie came out, I had
Nice.
the Mandalorian tattoo. Like I've had that there for almost 20 years, and maybe longer, and way before. Yeah, I'm a Boba Fett guy. I don't. I could identify with Luke because of my little sandy blonde hair when I was a kid, without a doubt. But I also thought he was a whiny little bitch in those movies.
Yeah, he was looking back. With all the marketing and merchandise, I'm surprised they didn't have a Boba Fetta cheese that you could buy
How
in
do
the
you come up
store.
with that so quick?
I just
You're
did.
you're way wittier than I could ever be.
I was also checking out Pete's guitars back there, and he was starting to tell me a little bit that you got a Randy Rhoads guitar behind you. I got to
Yeah.
bring this back to the rock and roll here in a sec.
Before I talk about the Randy Rhoads guitar, that right there is my Les Paul that I've had for. It's nothing special. It's not a real 59 or anything like that. But I've had that guitar with me for almost 35 years, and I bought it brand new, or it was given to me as a gift from somebody brand new. And when we start, I didn't realize that I was completely blocking it when. So I want to make sure everyone knows that I do have a real Les Paul because. And then the one next to me is a custom made. I've been playing Dean guitars for 21 years,
Mhm.
and Dean custom made that thing for me. I made a terrible mistake when because I love Les Pauls, but I need the Floyd Rose to do the Poison stuff correctly,
Right?
you know.
Yeah.
And I asked him to build me this guitar, and I said, build it as heavy as you can, because I'm one of those guys that I go back and forth. If we're talking about music, I go
Hmm.
back and forth in believing that a heavier guitar has a better tone.
It does. It does, though. I
And
mean,
then,
well, what tone are you looking for? I mean, that's the thing.
well,
If
right, right.
it
And
depends on the
so,
style of music, but generally, if I'm playing like hard rock music, it's always going to be the ballsiest sound is going to be out of that heavy guitar, and I feel like it stays in tune a little better. If I got like a really lightweight guitar, it feels like a toy, and if I move the neck too much,
yeah,
it
yeah,
gets a
right,
little
right,
twacked.
right.
But
So,
yeah, I don't. After all these years, I have my Les Paul is just a studio. It's a Les Paul
uh-huh.
studio from I believe 1992, which were a little more praised that ones, but it was like the working man's Les Paul of the
But
day.
in that 1988 to like 1994, when guitars were starting to get expensive, you everybody had to have a studio, because that was about the time that Les Pauls were going from being $1,000 to $2,500. I remember that, and
Right.
those studios were incredible guitars, man, incredible
I'm still
guitars.
playing it. I've still
Yeah,
been. I mean, it's so beat up. It's been through so much over the years, but that's how a testament to how solid it was. And I
correct.
remember I was pissed that it was like so much. It was like 700 or 800 bucks, back
Right.
then. And I was like, this is a lot of damn money to be paying for something.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Those are like Epiphone prices
Yeah,
of today. But if you do the math of inflation and whatever, what they're charging for the studios today is pretty close.
yeah,
Roughly
right.
fifteen
Yeah,
hundred bucks.
yeah, yeah. So Dean, I asked them to build me the heaviest guitar they could, and that thing weighs 16 pounds.
16.
Yes, it is so fucking heavy. I'm allowed to say whatever I want, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so fucking heavy. I played it for like 8 months, and I was so proud that I had a custom built guitar and all this stuff, and all of a sudden I had the pain, the Les Paul pain you hear about. You know what I mean? I'd never had that playing that one. That one's not that heavy, but
Right.
that thing caused me pain just from playing it for 8 months. And then the Van Halen guitar. As a kid, I worked at 2 local mom and pop stores, and I was such a music geek, and that was my life. And then when the mom and pop stores started going out of business, I started kind of doing this thing where, if and when I had the right money, I would walk into a local mom and pop store and try to just support them. I'd buy a guitar if I could. And I was in St. Louis one night, and somehow I ended up in this local music store outside of St. Louis, and they had one of the EVHs. At the time, they were harder to find than they are now, and I always like to just make people think. Even if I'm pissing someone off, some of the shit I post, some of the things I do, almost everything I do, I hope that someone walks away and goes, scratches their head, or you know.
Is that what you hope they do?
Was that David Lee Roth? What was that? Who is that?
That's Roth. That's our
It
Roth
is Roth.
screen.
That's what I
Pete.
said. You heard me say, was that Roth?
I just wanted you to second guess yourself. It's all good.
I walked into the store, and I didn't say anything. I saw the guitar, and in a split second I thought, let me fuck with this guy a little bit, and I just said, hey, just grab me that, I'll take it.
Nice.
And in a little mom and pop in a small town outside of St. Louis, that was weird to the guy. You know what I mean? And he goes, "Do you want to play it?" I said, "No, just box it up and I'll take it right now." And I hope I made the guy's day an easy sale. You know?
I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah. And then go ahead.
Oh, in Oceanside here, we still have a couple of shops that have been there a long time that are still kind of barely hanging in there. But the shutdowns, it really messed most of the local businesses up. And then, of course, Guitar Center. Even though we love Guitar Center,
right? It's funny, Eric. Again, working at local mom and pop stores and watching Guitar Center come into town and kind of beat them out of business. And as you know, I run a couple businesses, so I believe I have an entrepreneurial mind, I believe. And you hear these people, fuck Guitar Center. Well, Guitar Center was one guy, just like every other mom and pop. It started that way. He just had a better idea. I hate to say that. Like, everybody that starts a business wants it to get that big. Like, when people talk shit about Walmart, it's like, that guy Sam Walton,
right?
He owned a drugstore in Arkansas, and figured it out, right? If you're mad at Walmart, don't fucking go there. But you go there, so shut up about it. So I have a different perspective on. You mentioned the Guitar Center thing. I have a different perspective about it. Good for, I understand what it's become, but the guy himself was just a guy in L.A., right? Am I wrong? That had
I'm not sure the origin story of Guitar Center. I mean, Musician's Friend. I mean, they hooked me up with good deals. I mean,
yeah.
But as far as a traveling musician, stuff goes wrong all the time, and you're thankful there's a Guitar Center nearby. I mean, it's cool that there's consistency. I have the one in San Marcos, California here. They work on my guitars at the shop and do a great job. They're way cool. The store always treats me great, and they got a good used selection of stuff too.
I've noticed more and more in the last year or so that the Guitar Center used sections are great. All kinds of cool stuff all the time.
I mean, I don't know if there's the ratio of kids playing guitar. It seems like they're into it, though, this new generation.
It seems like it. There was a lull. There was a lull.
A lull. There was, right?
Yeah, but people like to play guitar again, man. I believe that so much.
Guitar Hero. Did your son play Guitar Hero at all? Because he's more that age group, right? That would have done that.
Not a lot. Not a lot. You know what's interesting, Eric, that you bring up Guitar Hero is Guitar Hero 3, which was the big game, the one that was the big success, right?
Hmm.
Like it was the one that was the most popular, whatever. Uh, not to promote myself, but the hardest
You
song,
can't do that on my show. You can't
the
do that.
hardest song to unlock, and the final stage of that game was a song called "Go That Far" that I wrote. That was the theme song to Rock of Love, the same year that movie came out, or that game came out. And Bret was a motion capture in it. If you got all the way to the end of the game, and it was the theme song to Rock of Love. And sometimes you hear people whenever these arguments about Poison versus Bret Solo go on,
Hmm.
and it's like a lot of people forget that song had a lot of legs. It was number one for 14 weeks on the VH1 countdown. It was in Guitar Hero 3, the biggest game of that year, and it was the theme to the Miss Universe pageant that year that Bret had hosted. And it just, when you mention Guitar Hero, it ties in. That's there's a lot of stuff that people always seem to want to forget that Bret did.
That's
as a
pretty
soloist.
awesome, man. So this is on Guitar Hero 3 has this song and you
Yeah,
wrote
yeah,
it?
yeah. Go that far. There was a theme to
Man.
Rock of Love, and it was, I actually had a friend I went to school with that lived in Virginia that was working on the game, and he's the one that made that happen. But he made it happen because of the success of Rock of Love at that moment, if you remember the
He must
show.
have had some success because it seemed like for a minute there was a Twilight Zone. Everybody was playing those damn plastic guitars in the store. They'd have bigger crowds around them than my local band could get, you know.
We would joke because I had a handful of friends. I could never do it. Could you play that? Could you
Not
do it?
not all that great. I
I
mean,
was
it was
terrible at
easier
it.
for me to play a real guitar.
Right. And I was terrible at it. And a lot of my friends back home, we would joke all the time because they would unlock that song, Go That Far. And I'd come over to the house and he asked me to do it on Guitar Hero. And I couldn't get four notes into it. Right. I was like,
Right.
give me a real guitar. So it's funny but yeah, that Guitar Hero 3 thing was gigantic, man. And I got to tell you, I'm watching your comments.
Yeah.
I don't know. I shouldn't have clicked on comments because I should just focus, but I'm watching them go really fast,
A lot of
and
people here tonight.
I love.
Let me read some of these here. Looks like first on deck tonight was T-Cuz, bruh. Hello, guys. Can we get Pete's history in the region? Pennsylvania, correct? No. Uh,
No, Virginia,
Virginia.
which
I'm a
I'm right where I'm at right now. I'm 25 miles from the Pennsylvania line, but
right. It's all kind of
yeah,
around. I mean, it's
the
you
Mid
could drive
Atlantic we call it, right?
totally. He's a huge fan of some of the lesser known guitarist bands from the Maryland doom scene.
Oh yeah, right. Who is that? My buddy Daniel talking by any chance?
I don't know. You know, T-Cuz is a regular.
Oh, okay.
T-Cuz is always at the Fright Bite that we do on. I do with Dahlia Dark on Tuesdays at 6
Oh,
p.m.
right. Yeah.
Pacific. He's one of our regulars.
How do you come up with that? Like your creativity on some of this stuff you do online is fascinating to me.
It's yeah, it was interesting. I mean, that was kind of born on the Chris Aiken Presents, which I, had ended recently. And we were trying to do something for like the paid subscribers, like just something fun to do. And I thought, hey, why don't we have a movie watch along type deal? And hey,
Yeah.
then I, since I like crappy movies or old movies, I thought let's get, crappy horror movies. Maybe I'll
Right.
be a character, and then went for like a vampire. And at first it was kind of lame, and also I was kind of, it took me a little bit to get the podcasting under my belt.
Sure.
But that not a lot of people were seeing the Fright Bite. I only had like 40 subscribers or something like that.
Right.
So when I fired up this Unleashed channel, I go, you know what? I should bring the Fright Bite to the public. And it was really, ambitious to go, I'm going to do this show every week. And then right when I was ready to do it, I came across Dahlia Dark, who has a real like vampire vibe. And she's a legit actress and stuff too. She's
Right.
done some work. She's, we're playing some of her, she did an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia that was really funny.
Right.
But I'm so like lucky to have her come into my life, and be excited about doing this show, because if I didn't have somebody like that was totally into it, I wouldn't be able to make it work.
Yeah, you have to feed off it, the energy
Right.
with it.
And you know, we're trying to do like a unique thing for the channel where we do have pre-recorded stuff that we'll film and try to have this ongoing story line where, I don't know, for some of the people here know what it is. For people that don't know, there's a storyline where there's a secret government lab and Dr. Von Brainscan has these super vampires, and some of them have escaped. Some of them actually, you know, work for the government. Uh, my character, Count Cracula, he's an ancient vampire that's like 2002 years old. So he's not part of that, but he's affiliated. And this whole
Yeah.
thing's just like writing itself. But Dahlia Dark and Count Cracula get called upon to go retrieve escaped vampires from the lab. And you know, we're new to like making these movies, but the crappy movies I was watching with Chris Aiken were so bad that I was like, man, I could probably make my own movies just around my apartment. You know what I mean? And that's what we started doing. And she loved doing that too. And she's getting back out there in the public. So she films her parts. Sometimes we'll get together, like, because she plays other characters too. We have other characters involved on the show. The villains are played by us also, and she plays some of them. And recently, she came here so we could do some of the fight scenes and stuff where she was a character called Bearherneck, which was based on a G.I. Joe Baroness character, and she always just beats the crap out of Count Cracula. That's pretty funny, but that's just old school slapstick.
So
Kind of
do you set a time aside in a schedule and you say, I'm going to write these stories, or
right?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
like
pretty
2 o'clock
much. I
on
mean,
Tuesdays?
yeah, like with the show, we're live on Tuesdays, so that's the other thing. So we integrate the live podcast aspect. We're live, but then we'll like interact with the pre-recorded bits, and we're interacting with the audience. And sometimes they inspire stuff. One of our regulars here, Spicoli, inspired the character Fangoli. You know, so they're along for the ride, and they watch this. It doesn't have a huge, you know, following right now. I mean, for the most part, everybody wants to see me playing with Steven Pearcy, which is awesome. I mean, that's been my job for like the last 25 years, you know. So of course,
Yeah.
most people know me from that. The channel got most of its viewership from me doing my tour vlogs.
Sure.
Where you know, I and I also got a chance to, like, if I've ever used footage from you guys that you've taken at the shows, thank you. I mean, I just figure it's me, and I you know, I'm sure you don't mind if I borrow some clips from it, and so I integrate those. I always get asked that. They're like, "How do you film yourself when you're on stage?" I just steal it from you guys.
Right.
But no, I appreciate everybody. If I have used your stuff, thank you. You got a good shot, or I try to find a good shot, but on those, I just kind of look back to where we were at that time, and if somebody's got something cool, I'll add it in. And
Right.
I'll still keep doing those. I mean, I know I have at least 5 shows with Steven this year. Some of them are pretty big, so you know, stay with the channel. Make sure you're sub tonight if you're new, and hit the like button and all that, and you'll be notified for when those new diaries or what have you come out. And I have other bands too that I'm gonna Pump 5. I have like some dates I'm going out with them, so I'll be doing some vlogs for that. It's cool, man. The channel's picking up speed. So
Yeah, without a doubt. I see it all. I see more people talk about it, and I see it in my algorithms, even with my candle company and other names that I use online. It's the presence is growing without a doubt. You
yeah,
see it.
the force
know.
is strong. The force is strong with my channel, right?
What do you have with Steven this year?
Well, we're the most recent thing is we're doing an album. We're doing our next album. He did tease a track, which some people don't realize he plays guitar and writes music. You know, always has. A lot of the earlier Ratt stuff he wrote
Right.
some of the riffs for and everything, and he has fun even on like TikTok and stuff, just playing his songs. And he's had like 4 songs that he's like been working on for a while now, and they finally got in there and got Blas Elias in there to do drums and Matt. I The rest of the songs are ones that me and him have written, and there's some great stuff coming everyone's way. But today he teased this song "Drive," which is a song he wrote. There's some badass guitar solos on it. It's not me, but it's a amazing young guitarist, Austin Ingram.
Okay.
From the band Gunshine. If you guys are
Oh,
familiar, they've played with us, and they're talented young dudes, to be sure, and good guys. I have to say, like, just generally speaking, that generation right now of like 25-year-old guitar players are like all like highly capable, but they're like humble and cool, and
yeah, yeah,
I
right.
don't know. It's cool. It's nice to see, compared to back in our day with just arrogant dick guitar players.
Well,
These guys are
it's
like all happy to be where they're at, like where we're kind of tainted. I mean,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
not. I
right.
mean, you're always happy to be everywhere. I don't know how you do it, how you have the stamina to be happy all the time at these Brett shows. I mean, because we'll like on like day 5 be doing like rain dances to just hope it rains. We're like, do we really got to do this?
Yeah, right,
You
right.
know?
I mean, a lot of that's because Brett's such a positive guy. Brett is his energy is always it's always make yesterday or make today better than yesterday at all costs. And you've run into him 1,000 times. Have you ever seen him even a slightly appear to be grumpy at all?
Never,
Yeah,
never.
and
I
that's
mean,
the and that's that. Uh, I was fortunate enough to know his father really well, and his father was the kind of guy that would throw dinner parties and entertain the neighborhood, not singing, just throw parties and be a host of a party. And uh, that's where Brett gets it from. It wasn't watching David Lee Roth. It wasn't watching uh, Paul Stanley. He got that frontman charm from just watching his dad host parties in his living room in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And he, Brett's been battling that diabetes his whole life. He takes shots, 6 or 7 shots a day. Uh, and so anytime anyone's down, he don't want to have it. He's like, you haven't lived what I've had to live with that disease, which is funny. I don't know if you saw my post a couple weeks ago. I had I'm not a diabetic, but I'm a pre-diabetic, and I had a 309 blood sugar on stage at Mohegan Sun.
what?
Yeah, at the other night, and I had to take a knee. I had to go lay down during the drum solo. There were paramedics waiting for me when I got off the stage, and all I could think is, how many times in 40 years has Brett done this? Because I've been with him when he's had a 400 and some blood sugar on stage, and he's been my best friend for 20 some years. And the other night, I gained a entirely different respect for his ability to perform when those blood sugars. I had no idea that's what happens to your body when that happens. It was I at one moment I thought I was going to have to tell Brett I had to sit it out. So I don't know
Wow.
how we led to that, but my point
Well,
to
yeah,
that is,
health. You got to watch your health, guys. I
yeah.
mean,
Well,
I've had my share of stuff. I've probably since probably since September, I lost 25 pounds,
right on.
and it wasn't through Ozempic. I'm pleased to announce, but it was just going to the gym. We have a dope gym that I just have to walk to the other building,
Yeah, right.
and there's a cool elliptical machine, and I just put on the headphones and put on some NWA, and I'm like,
The
you know,
elliptical, it's funny. I've owned two of those things in my life. It's the only piece of gym equipment I can stand is
yeah,
those elliptical
the
cycles.
same. It's kind of cool. Like you're doing. So I can't just sit on I've never done a treadmill
Yeah,
thing, but
yeah, I can't stand a treadmill. I'm a mountain biker, and I don't like to just stare at a wall. So I can, I certainly need to take better care of myself, but I like to be outside. I'll walk and I'll hike. I'm a
hmm
camper, like
right,
I'm a get in the tent and camp out in the woods guy,
yeah.
and and I'm active when I can be. But man, I can't go to the gym and I'm going to die from it. You know what I mean?
Would you
Kudos
say
to you.
that's my problem that I had with that was when I'm home for a good amount of time, it's so much easier to stay on a regular
Pattern.
schedule.
Right.
But when you're out doing these gigs and you work your ass off for 4 or 5 days, you miss 2 3 nights of sleep. I get
Yeah.
home and I just have no motivation for like a week, and I'm like, oh,
That's
I'll get
right.
back on it. And then
That's
next thing
right.
you know, 2 weeks, and you the food we eat out there, there's no getting around how bad it is for
So I
us.
have to tell you, was it something you just did recently, or did I just happen to watch it? But you're at the Arcada.
Yeah, that was the last video tour video I put out on the channel.
Yes. So we were
Yeah,
at the Arcada last weekend,
right.
and you'll die eating those meatballs, but we all do, man.
You have to do it, right? Well, if you
And
work it off, it's okay, you
right,
know.
right. But you had said on that video that the hardest thing to do is to stay fit out on the
Right.
road, and it's true, man.
I was
And
chubbed up at that time, so I've been putting older ones on because
yeah,
I'm not playing my first show with Steven again till April, so that's going to be the first vlog that with the new lineup and everything us out there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I didn't want people to have to wait. So I know there's ones I haven't seen. So I'm like, what do I got? Now Arcada was a cool one, so I put that up. But looking back at these, I'm like, ugh, I'm like way chubbo
Yeah,
on
right. No,
them.
I know.
And then the other
I,
thing is like I'm always had to be a frugal guy over the years, and so I would like make my own sandwiches, or if I saw there was food somewhere, I'm like, better get it now while it's free, and
right,
just
right. Well,
pile up. It's going to be a long day at airports.
yeah, it was funny. I was talking to you about the Arcada, um, but you've also played the arena in Mohegan Sun,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And their catering, you'll gain 20 pounds a day at Mohegan because
Right.
there's certain places around the country that we all know it's a catering day. you
Mohegan's
know,
the Mohegan's probably the best, right? Of all the casinos, that's probably the coolest one outside of Vegas.
as far as
Just
overall experience.
playing an event, it's got the arena there, and it's
There's
just
such nostalgia to it,
right.
that I don't know if you had history, but that was where Billy Joel did his comeback or something and did like 8 nights in a row or something. And there's all kinds of history in the Mohegan Sun place. And it's super cool. It's a super cool place to play. But I will tell you, have you done Falls View at Niagara Falls yet?
I did do Falls View, and it was amazing. But what's funny about it, it's in Canada. It's like right across the
Right.
border. But you finally get to like get a full view of it, because if you don't cross over, you're not getting a view. So,
That's
anyways,
right.
Falls View Casino. We get there, and I thought my room was okay. I saw some lights in the background. I didn't realize the what the view was till the next morning. I opened the window, and there it was,
Yeah, it's right there.
amazing
Right.
waterfall. Yeah.
We played there a couple weeks ago, and the entire falls was frozen.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, I
How did
have a
that look?
picture.
Do you have any? Oh, you probably
I
don't have photos of it, but it's like with the
I
ice
do.
and the
I,
colors and
I have a picture
yeah.
of it in the middle of the night. Uh, but I gave it to Bret, and I told him that he could have it exclusive for him to post. Uh, and then I don't think he ever posted it, so maybe I'll post it tomorrow. But it's an unbelievable thing to look at. It was crazy, but that's a cool arena.
Oh yeah, no, that was just one of those awesome things, because usually nostalgic bands, you're playing the fairs and smaller shows, but not necessarily arenas. You know what I mean? But
Right,
that's like my chance to play an arena still. In
right.
my 50s. So
Yeah. Well,
that's pretty dope.
last summer, us, you, and Vince, those were three cool shows. Those outdoor
Definitely.
amphitheaters. That was super cool. I thought.
I hope we get to do something like that again. I mean, that
It,
was a
I
rad
mean,
lineup.
as far as rock fans go, uh, you know, th those three sets are just nothing but hit songs. It was a great package of music. Y-
Right.
You know,
And
that was a
Vince's
lot.
big comeback, he
Yeah. Right.
overcame some health stuff, and that was like his first shows out, so that was
Yeah.
cool to see. And yeah, man,
So,
that was something else.
so what do the question was that you said you had some cool stuff with Steven this year. Is there anything super cool any cool shows to talk about, festivals, or what are you doing?
Oh, he's catching me off guard, folks. I don't have to. I'll have to check
Now, if you ask me,
official stephenpearcy.com for a moment. But while I'm doing that, I'm gonna pull up a couple super chats I've been hanging out here. This is I mentioned Spicoli
there he is.
earlier. Yeah, whenever Spicoli's in the
I know
house.
that, dude. Hey, bud, let's party.
What are you people? On dope?
So we're always happy when he's in the house. Jade Lee's been is here. She wants to put this towards any auctions if we want to auction some Star Wars stuff. Never, never, never. Yeah. So, anyways, while I'm looking this up, I'm gonna get on Steven's website here and take a look at the events he has coming up. This one in Tulare is going to be cool. It has, let me see. Oh, Steven, you don't have a, oh, here we go. It's with LA Guns. It's at the Tulare, California Adventist Health Amphitheater, and that's Saturday, May 9th in Tulare, California.
Awesome.
Yep. And in Lake Charles, Louisiana, we're doing a 80s rock invasion that's going to be pretty dope. It's going to be with Sebastian Bach,
Right on.
Great White, Slaughter, White Lion. That's Lake Charles, Louisiana, L'Auberge Casino Resort in Lake Charles. Have you played there? You know that place?
Yes, we've played in the casino in Lake Charles. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Good.
That
Yeah, so
kid
there's good
is-
stuff. I had mentioned that I'd started to talk about the new album, and I'm not sure when the release of that's going to be, but that's probably going to be one of the highlights of my years, having played on the new Steven Pearcy record, because it's been a minute.
The thing that I was going to bring up to you is you posted that picture of you guys sitting around working on music a couple weeks ago.
Right. Yeah.
And that picture looked like something out of it looked like an old school Rolling Stone magazine picture. There was something powerful about it. And I thought, man, I'd love to be in that room right now. I don't know what your writing process is with Steven. You guys just get a couple guitars and start jamming, or how does that go?
Well, it varies. The song, that Drive that he put out today, he just plays every day. Like, he has a little studio in his office, and he TikToks this stuff, but he has his guitars and he just sits there and writes these riffs.
Yeah.
And they finally he came to Matt's and started laying those down with my compositions that I give him. I basically, anything that I think I could hear his voice on, that, hey, this might work for Steven, I'll put it up, in Logic, and I make a pretty full composition as far as the arrangement goes, and the parts and the drums, you got the MIDI drums going. And that way I can bring it to Matt's, and he's got such an amazing ear, and he's probably the most, learned musician out of all of us as far as theory. Just the amount of time that he's invested into learning all this stuff and music gear, where I'm just more the dreamer guy, who shows up and, oh, what about this? But I come up with cool, unique stuff. Like, he's impressed with what I do, and I'm impressed with what he does. I've described it as like two kids that, get together to play Legos or something. Hey man, you want to play Legos? When I do come in with the songs, Matt Thorne and we never disagree on anything.
That's cool.
Ever. Like, it's weird how it works, but he'll be like, why don't you try this? I'm like, oh, like this? Yeah. Boom. And it's so fun.
Right. And so you guys fill in the space for each other it's neat to have a partner to be able to do and write and play and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, he'll take what I'm doing to an even higher level, and then the recording aspect with which guitars to use to get certain sounds for what overdubs. Bless you, Pete. You all right?
I'm good. Hey, you mentioned MIDI drums. Do you play an electronic kit, or do you program the drums?
No, I end up having to program them. In some cases, that's probably the only amount of AI, which it's really not that. But doing rock music, when you're in Logic, you can have a drummer
Yeah,
throw
yeah.
down a basic rock beat. I don't consider that like cheating, really. I mean, it's like
not. It's a
how many
tool.
basic rock beats are there? You know what I mean? It's
It's
just
a
like, can you
it's a
save me some
tool.
time with this? But I end up having to like still go in there and program it anyway because
Of
it's
course,
never
right?
exactly quite right. But just to give me an idea of how cool this is going to be,
Of course.
basically, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's about it. But I'm so glad that I didn't, get into the AI thing musically because there's been like a big rug pull. I think there was a lot of cheaters out there for a minute. But anything
Yeah.
you did on that, you're not really going to own it. They are, and you're
Right,
going to have to
right,
pay a fee to be able to keep licensing it out. You're not going to, and you don't really make that much money off music
right, right,
anymore. So
right.
still not going to make any money. So I am happy to report that everything on the new Stephen Pearcy record is 100% human made.
Right,
All
right,
right.
right. It's funny. I don't mind the AI stuff. Um, my son, my son uses some of it, and but he's still a purist at heart. But he's also 25 years old or 24 years old, and those they're tools that are access to him that he's grown up with. Sometimes he's producing a record and he'll put a certain plug-in on that's using some kind of AI. And I'm like, why don't you just EQ that yourself? Just use the EQ to make it sound like that or whatever. And there's an entire generation that's the tools they know.
Right. I mean, I guess there is stuff I am ignoring that I possibly do. Like you're saying, there might be some mastering plugin or something that's like
Right.
I'm not sitting there like literally mastering it, but I mean, when it comes to like the writing of the basic song, I'm just more what I'm talking about. But yeah, sure, I
Yeah.
love all the, money that we saved not having to pay. Remember when you had to pay somebody to go master something, or
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
so
it was a lot of money. Now it doesn't cost us anything to kind of make this music, but we're not
right,
making anything with it
right,
either.
right.
So
When I was a young kid, there was a recording studio here in town called Q Recording that had an SSL board, and it was everything that you would find in LA and everything you could find in Nashville. Michael Jackson had come into it in the past, um, and I went there in my 11th grade year of high school, and we made a record. And the guy that was engineering treated us bad, and I already had a 4-track at home, and I watched him for a couple weeks, and then I went home and bought an 8-track reel to reel, and then in my basement of my parents' house, I asked my dad. He built me the walls, and we built a real studio in the basement. And so since my 11th grade year in high school, and then I went on to open a real commercial recording studio of my own in my hometown and rehearsal hall that I ran for a handful of years. And I've been producing records is actually, I'm probably more passionate about that than I am my guitar playing. I've been into that since high school, and I'm a gear freak, and I love to fucking make records. I love to make records.
me too.
I don't know why I told you that, but it just something you said made me decide to bring that up.
I'll always do it. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously the stuff that gets the most attention is the Stephen Pearcy stuff.
right,
That
right.
that I've done that's been the most distributed. The Frontiers record deal specifically, like we started. I always like to whip them out over here, Pete, while I have the people, so they remember.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You better recognize. No, Smash. That's probably one of the more popular ones that Steven and I did, and View to a Thrill.
Right, right.
It's got to come up with a name for the new one we're doing. We don't have one yet. I don't think we're gonna like go with the whole James Bond thing or something again.
Right.
This was a cool. This isn't a record where I wrote anything on, but it was like where we did re-editions of Ratt songs and had like special guests on it. And
Are some of them the old Mickey Ratt stuff?
well, yeah, they were songs that were being played in Mickey Ratt. Like definitely Dr. Rock was a Mickey Ratt song. Driving on E was a Mickey Ratt song. Top Secret was a Mickey Ratt song.
Yeah.
I don't know if if You Got It was. I don't think You Got It was a Mickey Ratt one, but at least three of these were literally probably before Ratt when it was Mickey Ratt. But what was really cool about this record, but my favorite thing about it was George Lynch played some stuff on it.
Are you a
And
George fan?
I love George. I loved Eddie Van Halen and George Lynch. And I remember we did this record a long time ago. I feel like we did this in like maybe 2002 or three.
Yeah, yeah.
And at the time, I mean, I just couldn't believe that he played on something that I played on. Like that was such a huge. I bought all the Dokken records just because of him, just because of
Right.
his guitar playing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was super excited about that. There's been, as you know too, like cool things that happen throughout your career that keep you hopeful for more
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
things. And
Yeah,
you've
right,
had
right.
tons of that. I mean, the Guitar Hero thing's really dope that you mentioned too.
It's cool, man. I appreciate that you think that's cool. Sometimes I tell that story and people seem like, who cares? I'm like, what do you mean? It was the biggest game of the year. So the fact that you think that's cool means the world to me.
I bet you millions of kids unlocked that song that played
Oh
it.
yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt.
That is super awesome. Yeah, I'll check. I know I ignore my
Hold-
comments. That's one thing I'm not good at.
Hold on one second.
What's
I've
that?
read about Q recording Pentagon with Joe Hasselvander playing all the instruments. I don't know who that is talking, but oh my God, I was just talking to a member of Pentagram yesterday about Joe Hasselvander. I don't know who that is on there.
What's the handle?
T's
T-Cuz? T-Cuz, bro?
Yeah. Do you know them?
T-Cuz, I feel like I know T-Cuz, but I don't. I have my imaginary idea of T-Cuz, and it's probably totally different.
So, it's so funny when things come out like that. Yesterday, I spoke. The town I live in is in a county called Prince William, and there's a thing called Leadership Prince William, and they had me speak at it, kind of like an people that have done good from their hometown, and they have inspirational talks to other entrepreneurs or and anyway, so Pentagram was a band from here, from the Virginia area that is legendary in their own right, and this drummer Joe Hasselvander was in that band, right? Joe ended up to be a good friend of mine, and he ended up playing in the band Raven. Do you remember the band Raven, metal band Raven?
Yeah, the drummer had the football helmet and the.
He replaced that guy.
Okay,
That guy.
all right.
But Joe has, there it is. Someone's talking about drum for Raven after leaving Pentagon. This guy knows the story. So I knew Joe really well. And if you ever meet Joe Hasselvander, he was the living, breathing definition of what rock and roll excess is supposed to be, right? And one night we were at this bar called Sully's that I used to play at all the time, and he was there, and he goes, "Pete, do you know what I do for fun these days?" I said, "What?" This was probably 30 years ago. I get real drunk and I follow cops around because they can't pull me over because I'm behind them.
Nice. It's true. It's science. I mean,
But he said this with the revelation like he had invented the new football. Like
yeah, I mean, because come on, Pete. I mean, we all know it's better to be behind a cop than in front of one.
so
everybody knows that.
But it's funny they're all talking about Raven now. I produced a Raven record actually. It was called Everything Louder, and it was awesome. I was so excited to do that, but I did it because I knew Joe, and Joe had joined the band, and Joe got them to come to the studio that I was just telling you that I used to own. But I have a funny George Lynch story. Can I tell you that?
Yes.
So, a couple times a year, I do this. There's a benefit gig that me and Reb Beach and Chad from Faster Pussycat and Eric Brittingham. Oh yeah, you know Chad.
Yeah, cool dude.
And Eric Brittingham do together, and we're the main band, and it's an acoustic gig, and we're the main band. But the guy that throws these events we'll hire George to come in and play with us.
Nice.
And George comes in, and he always brings an electric, and we're like, George, it's acoustic gig. Well, I'm just going to play electric, right? So anyway, and it's fun to just watch. George is fun to watch, and he's a fun guy. But I got to know him a little bit, and so I'm going to grab this real quick.
Do it.
Because this ties back to Ratt.
Okay.
And everything in a long, long way. So this is the Jakey Lee model Charvel.
Yeah, I recognize it right away.
So when I was a kid, this guitar was, I mean, everyone that knows me knows I have the Van Halen tattoo. They know I have the Ace Frehley tattoo. But when Bark at the Moon came out, I was a fanatic. I was Jakey Lee fanatic.
Right.
Like no offense to Randy. I love Randy. I have the Randy guitar right there. I just thought there was a time where I was like, Jake's better than Ed. Jake's better than Randy. I loved him. I just fucking loved
right.
him. That's all. And then on the Ultimate Sin tour, he played this guitar. And anyway, so
he's unmatched with 80s rock performances. I feel like Jake at the time was with 80s rock performances. You know, Jake's stage performances were like unmatched. How cool he was on stage.
Cool. And then he would do that shit with his thumb. Did you ever see him play with his thumb and all that stuff?
Yeah, he was always doing unique, interesting tricks of his own that he invented. And he has such a history with Ratt, you know, playing in Mickey Ratt and his connection, you know, with Warren. And Matt Thorne, you know, being roommates and stuff. It's pretty extraordinary. Right. Even the connection, I mean, I'm stoked to just like be around these guys that have known these legends, right?
Oh yeah.
And to know that like I'm playing with them, like they've seen the best in the world.
That's right. They are the best in the world. Somewhere.
They are. They were. They are. They taught us how to rock. You know what I mean? So I don't get a lot of compliments, right? But it's a compliment to just be accepted enough. You know what I mean? Hey man, we've played with this guy and this guy, and you're playing with us now, and you're like, hey, that's pretty badass.
That for 25 years, I hate to make this sound dumb, but the one thing I think you and me can agree on is for 25 years, Steven and Bret have trusted us.
That's right.
That's the best compliment there can be. There's this guy online. I've been in Bret's band 21 years, and there's this guy that goes to the metal sludge board sometimes, and for 21 years he's been talking about I should get fired because I play nothing but a good time wrong.
He doesn't like your good time. I've heard about it. We all have a guy like that just harasses us around. And I have a guy that says I'm out of tune everywhere.
But I laugh. After 21 years, does this guy not realize that in our solo band, I'm playing this the way Bret wants me to play it? I'm not playing. You know, it's funny people's perception. You know what I'm saying? So let me finish about this real quick.
Sure. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
Well, I get sidetracked. My ADD is someone said, "Long live Ace." You see me? I got the Ace shirt on.
Awesome.
I'm going to come back to that. I have so many. I always say, I'm the Forrest Gump of rock and roll. I have a story about everything, but I'm just the guy.
Right.
Like
you just happen to be in the background.
Yeah, but I have Ace ended up being a buddy of mine, and it still hurts, man. Like. But let me finish this real quick. So
sure, Jakey Lee.
You like me aren't. Honestly, I think we both can say we don't have our boss's money, right?
Right.
We don't, right. So there's a video online of George using this guitar, the real one though, right? And this guitar, my point was, this guitar was as important to me as Ed's guitar, like the striped guitars.
Right.
Like I love this Blue Charvel so much that I made my dad, when I was in middle school, take me to New York City to Manny's Music because no one sold Charvel where we were, and I just wanted a Blue Charvel, and I got this Blue Charvel back then because it was the closest thing to this that I could fucking find, right? So so anyway, there's this video of George in the studio playing this guitar, and I freak out, and I text him. And I say, George, I love you. Don't take offense to what I'm about to ask, but I just saw a video of you playing Jakey Lee's Blue Charvel. The guitar is so important to me. You name the cost, and I'll fucking buy it from you. And I
Wow.
and I don't know what took over me, but I hit send, and my girlfriend looked at me, and she goes, "What's wrong?" And I went ghost white because all of a sudden I thought, I can't. Whatever he comes back to me with, it's probably going to be $10,000, $12,000. I can't buy a $10,000 or $12,000 guitar. You know what I mean? Like I
Right.
I can't. And all of a sudden I see the little bubble coming from him
Mm-hmm.
responding, and I'm like, oh man, I can't buy this guitar. He's going to name a price, and then he's going to go tell everyone that Bret Michaels, guitar player, can't buy this guitar.
Oh, that would be my fear too. That's happening. Go on. Proceed.
And it texts, and he goes, I don't own it. And my brain went, thank fucking God. There's no way I could have bought the guitar. He goes, I don't know it. But they make a reissue of it. I didn't know Charvel was making the reissue.
Yeah,
So
they
then
have been.
Then I went down to the local music store the next day, and I said, can you get this guitar? And he said, and I've worked with Charvel in the past on things. In fact, remember I sent you a picture of your green Charvel a few years ago at a music store? I said I was at.
Yeah, you're like,
that was
look,
the-
they got your guitar, and you wanted
that
to
was-
get it. You love that. You own it though. You ended up getting the green one, right?
Yeah, I've had it, and then a friend of mine has reacquired it from me.
Okay. The green
But-
machine. Yeah.
But that day was the day I went and talked to him about this guitar, and I said it was like January or February. I said touring is slow right now. I can't buy it right now, but if you want to order it, I'll buy it in maybe June or something like that. And he called Charvel, and Charvel, he told him it was for me, and then Charvel sent it to him right away. And then I ended up having to come up with the money. I wanted it so bad. So that's how I ended up with the Jakey Lee guitar, because of George Lynch.
Nice. Yeah, I have of course I have some Charvels. I have the Charvels. They're made in Mexico. I couldn't afford the really expensive ones.
Right.
But
right.
one guitar I have is a Wayne guitar, which is when they sold the company.
Wayne Charvel, you're right.
Wayne Charvel, right, and his son Michael still make amazing guitars here in California.
Right.
And definitely go to the Wayne Guitars website and get, if you want a real actual made by the Wayne guys, the actual guys, you can get one. And Michael saw me playing with Steven many years ago. It was like 2005, and I had like a Fender Telly, and I was playing the Ratt songs with a Telly, which looked a little weird at the time,
Right.
playing the
I
Ratt
went
stuff.
through
But
a telly phase. I went through a telly phase with Bret about 7 or 8 years ago.
I had a hot rail in it, so it did have some
Yeah, you
kick
got the
to
tone
it.
you neneeded out of it. Right.
Yeah, so anyways, he saw me playing that, and Michael was like, "Hey, that's so cool. Let me make you one, because it'd be just a bolt-on kind of deal." And he wanted to do something unique with the paint job, and not do a paint job. He goes, I have this idea. I heard about Steve Vai had put some fabric on a guitar instead of painting it, which in retrospect, I don't know if that would sound bad. Could possibly sound bad, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But anyways, I go, okay. So I like monsters, Universal Studios monsters, obviously vampires. But I found some kids' curtains that had like Frankenstein and Dracula,
Yeah.
werewolf, vampire, and stuff. And so I sent the fabric up to them, and they laid the fabric in, and it was like kind of a cool like monster guitar, similar to kind of Kirk Hammett's
Yeah,
monster
sure.
stuff too. But it was a great guitar. I used it for I still have it, and I've used it for a really long time. It needs a little bit of love to get it back for the stage again. But the Charvels, the Mexican ones, are really great. That came out in like the early 2020s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
I used them on stage. I mean, you gotta doctor them up a little, but tell me, Pete, like working with Floyd Roses, what a pain in the ass, right?
right. Of course.
Do you have a guy that works on that for you, or do you have a live at these shows? Do you have to have it ready to go yourself, or what?
No, we have a tech, JT, and JT, our guy, knows Tom Weber. Have you ever heard of Tom Weber?
It sounds familiar, but that's a common name.
Tom is Cece's guy, and
Okay.
he's also been Neil Sean's guy, and he was Eddie Van Halen's guy for the first couple of years when they got back with Dave, right?
Hmm.
Uh, and so JT learned a lot about Floyd Roses from Tom, and if Tom's good enough for Eddie, he knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. That's awesome to have a guy like that around to do that because
Yeah, he
I
doesn't
lose a
like
lot of
it though.
time.
He doesn't
Just
like it. He,
I'm always like, pay me as much as you can. You go because it's a budget. You got to have a guy out there. So I'm like, what's the most you can pay me without a tech? I'll just do it myself.
right,
I'm the frugal guitar player, right? But
right.
excuse me. Part of it is just trusting someone with something like that because
That's the
they send
fear,
you out
man.
with a Floyd Rose that's not set up right. You walk out on stage thinking it's going to work, and then that's my worst nightmare is having that thing all twacked out. I'm always back there making sure my stuff's the crowd
Yeah.
doesn't see me, but I'm back behind there stretching strings and
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen. I thank God Brett talks a lot. I go behind the scrims
right.
every single song. I tune, I stretch, just like you're talking about. I do it the entire set, after every single song. I go back there and I'm making sure everything's okay. It's a panic because
How is this tuning like when you're playing guitar at the Brett shows? Do you guys keep one tuning
step
for
down,
everything?
half step down all the way through. Yeah. The fear though is over the years, we've probably had 4 techs in 21 years, and Brett plays that 12 string. And
Right, he does.
the biggest fear in the world is when we have a new guy on job is like, are you going to bring that thing slightly out of tune? Is awful. Just,
Mm-hmm.
and acoustics and the air and the temperature and anything could go wrong. And there's nothing like the feeling in my stomach when a new tech walks that 12 string out because it
It doesn't have like an onboard tuner on it. I have a 12 string.
it does.
Oh yeah, that I mean those are pretty decent to have.
They are, but the patience, and I'm always afraid the tech thinks that maybe a couple cents off is okay, or you just never
Right.
know.
Oh.
The fear, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like
Because
you
it already
said.
has a droney kind of sound,
yeah.
and so but when it's off, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the one scary part is the 12
Right.
string. But yeah, you guys are always super tight. And Dean Kramer, he's been a great addition to the band. I had people asking about Norman Voss. They
Norm.
want to see Norman in here. Now, is he okay? You guys
He got sick last week, got COVID, and
tell me about this gig because, well, is he better now? Is he better?
Yeah,
Norman?
he'll be with us.
Okay,
he'll
good.
be with us next weekend. Yeah,
Okay.
it just hit him. He called me Thursday night, and he doesn't like to miss a gig. And it was Thursday night, and we had to fly Friday, or called me Wednesday, and we had to fly Thursday. And he's just like, I can't. It was bad, and he's an active guy and a healthy guy.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, but he got sick, and it kicked his ass, and it ate him up because they were cool shows. You know what I mean? He doesn't like to miss a show, so.
No, but you got a good fill in. It's
We got Tyson.
Tyson Leslie.
Yeah,
He's a
Tyson.
super talented guy.
It's ridiculous, his talent.
I mean,
right?
he plays. I see him playing with Vixen.
Yeah. He plays
Yeah.
every instrument. Plays every instrument. And while we're out on the road, he was playing me some of his solo music, and his fucking voice is fantastic too.
Okay, that was a weird thing. Okay, because we're friends now on social media, and yeah, he was actually doing a country song
Yeah.
on his thing, and it almost was like he was lip syncing another guy's voice because it wasn't a voice you would expect to hear out of
It
him.
doesn't sound like you think it sound like.
But it was so good. I was like,
Right,
man,
yeah.
he's got something there.
He's
so-
a specially talented human being and
Yeah.
super nice guy.
But no, so he comes up, he's playing bass, and it looked like he was having fun throwing the bass around, and
Yeah.
everybody plays bass, right? I mean,
right.
say.
Yeah.
good
Yeah, but it
stuff.
was great.
So Norman will be back with you guys
Next week, yeah.
week. Good to know. Yeah, all you guys are great. I got to have all these guys on at some point, Dean and
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah.
Norman's a great guy to talk to, and Dean's a great guy too. Dean, but Dean's a muso. He's going to want to talk about gear and guitars.
That's all good. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what you guys were just. Well, Pete, I've known longer, but what I appreciated was just how friendly you were for playing for a big star, you know, like that. Definitely, I would say Pete was one of the first guys that went out of his way to be cool and friendly. Most guys are, though. I'd say the bands that have been around the longest, that play the most, are just
Yeah.
chill guys. You know, whether it's LA Guns or
Yeah.
whoever. They're
Yeah.
all
Do you know
we're all.
do you know Johnny Martin in LA Guns?
I don't know him that well, but of course know of him, and he plays
cool.
with all kinds of different bands.
Yeah,
Super
he's cool.
talented guy.
Him and Chad play in Gene Loves Jezebel
That's
together.
awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. And then
And you were asking
Blando.
me about Bow Wow Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
There's so
fun
many.
when you get to play with some of these old, you know, maybe not 80s rock, but they're, you know, the 80s had so much different cool music of
Yeah,
all pop.
when you and me talked about the connection. There's so many these connections. Is the guy that wrote "I Want Candy" that Bow Wow Wow was their big hit. Is a guy named
Originally
Richard-
wrote it, right?
was a
It was from the.
originally
It was from the. No. Your guy originally wrote it.
Strange Loves, the band, the Strange
The
Loves.
Strange
right?
Loves, but this was in the '60s, right?
Right.
That it was written.
Right. Right. Richard Goddard wrote this song. He's the guy that he was big into female artists. He produced Blondie. He produced the Go-Go's. He was co-founder with Seymour Signs in the 80s with Sire Records, which had Blondie, the Go-Go's, Talking Heads, all those
Sire.
CBGBs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The New
And
York bands.
and he was producing a female band that I would do all their demos in Virginia, and then they'd go to New York and cut the record with him for their record deal. And they lost their guitar player and needed to go to a session, and they called me in because I produced a record and or produced their demos. And me and Richard hit it off, and he produced my first record. And then you're playing Bow Wow Wow and play that song. Everything's a connection. You can find it any way.
Yeah, we joked. The 8 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Right. 8 degrees of Erik Ferentinos.
It was fun to do something different. You know, some people thought that like, oh, were you the original guy? I'm like, dude, I'm not that old. You know what I mean? But the original guitarist of Bow Wow passed away, I think, in the '90s.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he did. He was a big star, like a young hunk in the UK.
Oh,
you
right
know, guy, and it was sad. That was sad that happened.
You know who I saw last month was Duran Duran. Have you seen Duran Duran live?
I love Duran Duran. My co-host Dahlia went recently. I think she was just 2 weeks ago or so. Went and
At
saw
the
Duran
Forum or whatever, right?
Duran. I believe.
yeah.
Well, no. Oh, yeah. Now probably. I didn't ask.
Yeah. I was fat. I'm a gigantic Duran Duran fan,
Mhm.
but I'd never seen them live. And it's interesting because when you're our age and you think of Duran Duran, they were that first band that were using sequencers. And back then we were like, oh, what they were doing was the equivalent of what a lot of us think playing the tracks is today, right? You know,
Right. Definitely.
you know. So you think of that with them as kind of being the band that would probably be faking it all the way through. And they are the most live band I've seen in a long time. There's not a single track playing. They have a couple extra backup singers. Nick Rhodes plays like 10 different keyboards at a time. And they're a full on untrack using live fucking rock band.
They're
And
legends.
legends and incredible and fun and sound great and look
Steven
great.
Steven Pearcy loved Duran Duran. You know,
That makes
when-
me happy to hear.
yeah, when he was a young guy, he totally loved them. Now, there's a famous picture out there where he kind of photobombed Simon Le Bon. I don't know if the audience has seen that one, but those guys could. I mean, deservingly, they were a little. I heard were a little pompous. At least this night, Simon was. I think.
Yeah.
Steven wanted to meet the guy, and he kind of blew Steven off, and Steven's like, yeah, okay, well, watch this, and he gave took a picture of this, and then he goes, hey, Simon, and just like jumped in and made it, and so Simon turned around like, what's this all about, and there's just kind of you can find it on there if you look up Steven Pearcy, Simon Le Bon. You'll find this photo. We did a couple years back a cover of Girls on Film.
Right. I know that. Like, did you record it or play it live?
I recorded it here,
Right.
and I did the guitars. Matt did the bass. It's got a pretty sick bass line to it, and Matt's a huge Duran Duran fan.
Right,
So
right.
he was like stoked at the chance to do that. He was like, yeah, I mean, we didn't, I don't even think we charged Steven for that. We are just like, yeah, let's do it for fun, you know?
That's cool.
And it came out pretty cool. I mean, that is neat to like today have these tools at our fingertips digitally,
Right.
where at home I could recreate the stuff that you would need a huge budget to do back
Yeah.
in the 80s when it's so much outboard gear.
Right.
So
Well,
that's
I
over.
laugh that the and this goes back again to stuff that people just fail to realize, and you can look it up. The last four Bret Michaels records that I wrote and produced with him have all been Billboard Top 20, not the rock charts, the real Billboard Top 20 records. And every single one of them was made with my laptop on the bus.
Wow. How do you find time for that? I mean, I there was all these things before I was ever on a tour bus that I was like, thought I'd be doing, and I overpacked for
Yeah,
stuff to
right.
go do out there, and there wasn't time to do anything. It's like you're sleeping till like 3 o'clock, and then
Right.
you stumble off the bus, walk in, you're hungry, you gotta take a poop, whatever. You do your sound check, and then you're just kind of pre-partying for the show you got to do, and then it's
Yeah.
just party, party, party till like
Me,
6 a.m. And
me and
then
Brett are,
you go to
me,
bed till 3. And
me and Brett are both strangely early risers. And you know, I've gotten the best vocal tracks out of Brett at sometimes 8 o'clock in the morning.
oh, ew, really?
Oh yeah,
How's
we'll
that
get up.
possible?
We just get up and work when everyone else has crashed out. We have the world to ourselves, and he's just Brett is a 6 a.m.
I
guy.
sound like Archie Bunker at goddamn 7 in the morning. Right? No.
Brett's up at 6 or 7 a.m. guy, and full of energy and life, and we work on records when the moment hits us. I have a portable Pro Tools rig that is always with me, and it's always with me in case the idea hits. I've recorded stuff out in the middle of the desert before. That's the art of these tools, like you're talking about. You don't. It would have cost millions of dollars to make the records me and Brett have made on a bus.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. So, what songs? What have you done on a bus that's done the best for you guys as far as that we would have heard? Like a song
that
that
theme, that theme from Rock of Love
was
was
tracked on the bus.
we wrote it and tracked it on the bus, right? Um, there's a song called there's a song called Nothing to Lose that we recorded with Miley Cyrus.
Really?
And yes, and you guys know about Brett's brain hemorrhage.
Yes.
So we recorded that song and we released it. And the week it came out, it was the number one song added to radio above both Nickelback and Bon Jovi. And then Brett had the brain hemorrhage.
Oh.
And that took precedence over everything. And the single just kind of faded into obscurity. But he wrote that himself on the back of the bus, but he brought it up to the front, and we recorded it. Most of that we recorded on the bus. There's a song called Girls on Bars that we co-wrote with a guy named Luke Laird in Nashville. We wrote it in Nashville, but we recorded that whole thing on the bus, and it was a country song. Brett loves country stuff, and I forget there was something about the CMT. It did real well on CMT. The video was fucking great for it. Probably the best video that we've ever done. But all that was done on the bus.
That's so cool. Yeah, I never did anything. Probably the stupidest thing I packed up thinking I was going to do, which everybody was going to laugh at. But right before I got the call to join Pearcy's band, I was like 29, and I was going through a period where I was getting back in shape, and I was like lifting weights and stuff. And I'm like, well, I don't want to stop my routine, And so I like packed literally like weights into a suitcase like an idiot, and then
Right.
like went to go fly, and I had to pay all this extra money, just to take the things. And I never once worked out on this whole thing. I brought like suits. Like, whoa, what if we go to a fancy dinner sometime on an off night? I might need a nice wardrobe for that. And I'm like, none of that ever happened. It was like
It never happened. None of it ever happens.
you ends up
Never
like you end
happens.
up wearing the same pair of sweats every day and just being a
So
bum.
so Dean being kind of the newest guy in the band, and it takes a couple of years to realize the stuff
It
you're
does.
talking about, right?
Well, I mean, kind of, a year or two.
I travel with one backpack. That backpack
Right.
you've ever seen me carrying, I travel with one backpack. I have 2 sets of show clothes and 2 sets of regular clothes. And if I'm gone for a weekend or a month, that's it. That's it.
The only thing I pack extra for days, I count the days I'm supposed to be gone, and I have a pair of socks for each one of those days, and then I got
Socks
a
and
pair
underwear.
of underwear, right? I always, and then maybe an extra pair of socks underwear in case you get stuck somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You get delayed or
certainly-
whatever.
You certainly pack socks and underwear, but that's it. And then I have my my Pro Tools rig, and my drones and my cameras all in that backpack, and I can live out of that backpack for a month.
You take drones out there,
Yeah.
so you do that to just to film some stuff of where you're.
I never
you guys
do
are
anything
at.
with them.
But you don't use them. It's just another.
I fuck with them all the time, but I never get anything I want out of it.
When I was younger and toured, I brought like an Xbox for the tour bus.
Tyson brought an Xbox. I went to his room in the morning to make sure he knew the songs, and
Right.
he had a fucking Xbox hooked up.
He's younger though, right? I mean, he's
he's
younger
alright.
than us. Is he?
He's all right. Yeah.
Oh, he looks good. I mean, I think when I was I think when I turned 50, it's like the hourglass of life. I felt like was the sand was mostly on the bottom and not the top.
Oh yeah. What's
And,
the phrase? There's less days left, or there's some.
Yeah,
phrase.
I just what the hell am I doing? I'm like, why am I sitting here playing
Right.
Call of
right.
Duty Zombies for frickin' 4 hours when I could have like worked on something? I could have
Right, there's more
created
days-
something.
And I always have that thing. I've never played a video game in my life. I always, but I like you making little movies and stuff. Not little. I hate that wasn't supposed
No,
to sound
it's no insult there.
But that stuff I want to live that life. I have more creative ideas. I don't know how much into camera gear and stuff you are, but like I have the Black Magic camera. Do you know what those are?
What is a Black Magic camera, Pete?
The Black Magic Pocket Cinema camera is the camera that they use in Marvel uses on the Avengers, because it's a small camera, but it fits in cars and stuff like that. It is the most amazing. They call it the Black Magic Pocket Cinema. Thousands of dollars.
It costs thousands, this thing?
Yeah, I couldn't afford it. And during COVID, I just woke up one day and I had to have it. Like I just decided I was going to make feature films with this camera, and I never do.
Norman gets some good stuff. I mean, I see
does,
him
he
film
does.
stuff. What is he using? Is he just using an iPhone?
So I'm going to tell you, I laugh at Norman. No, I'm a gear guy. I'm a fucking gear guy, and I can't ever afford the best of everything, but I like to have the best tools I can have. And Norman, I tell him all the time, Norman has junk.
Okay, that's like me. I'm filming the Fright Bite on an iPhone 12.
You film that stuff on an iPhone?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll graduate to something, but yeah, we're trying to keep it cheesy though at the same time.
But nowadays, the iPhone
has replaced what would have been a very expensive camera.
I can film something on the iPhone that looks like it does on this Black Magic camera. Okay,
good to know. Good to know.
But Norman, the thing that cracks me up about Norman is his video editing software, because
he's real good at that. Yeah,
and he's using some junk on a PC. It's not even, and I keep saying, Norman, you're great at it. What if you had better tools? Can you imagine what you would be if you had better tools? And he doesn't seem to care. It makes me crazy.
Yeah, I mean that is a great question. Like,
Yeah,
But you
because
find out that your best stuff, you did your best stuff with not much.
right. But
Your best stuff.
that's also great too. I mean, Eddie Van Halen and Brian May changed the world with guitars they built. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
So, and I think J.J. Abrams filmed his first movie on I forget what it was, but you can make feature films with the current iPhone.
We are going to like, yeah, no. Well, what's the horror movie? Blair Witch Project was all like filmed on
So that
iPhones,
was
right?
well, they say it was. No one really knows because I live here in I live in Virginia.
Is that where they
I
filmed
live,
it in Virginia?
it was supposed to be in Maryland, which like 30
Okay.
miles from me, and
All
there was so much actual production going into making that seem like there wasn't production.
Really?
Yeah, for like 6 months while they were filming it, they were building all kinds of hype about in the area, trying to make people feel like that legend was real. Like, they made all that
Oh,
up. They made all that
interesting.
up. And
Yeah,
and
I never thought it was it. I didn't know that they had marketed it that way. I didn't when I saw it. I didn't think it was based on a real thing, but I did think that they made a low budge, all student
I
film kind of thing.
in the Virginia Maryland area, there was all kinds of like guerrilla marketing to try to make everyone believe this was some legend we'd all always known our whole life, just in our area, so that when the movie came out, we would cling to the legend and make
They were trying to reprogram your brains. No, no, you remember the Ghost of Christmas Past?
That's exactly it. Yeah. So Blair Witch though that was groundbreaking, changed the world, changed the way films were made. You remember that, right? I mean,
Yeah, definitely, or that it could be done. But I mean, is it was it really a higher budget thing? I thought they got ripped off on that. I was hearing.
I don't know
like,
I don't know the whole story about that. I just know that there was more money spent in the marketing of it than anyone thought. Like they were
Right.
marketing that 6 months before.
Interesting.
Came out.
I do have an aspiration, a silly dream, if you will, that eventually Dahlia and I do make some kind of movie that does make it to Tubi. Because as I said, a lot of the movies, they have a bunch of not good movies on there.
No, right,
You know
right,
what I mean?
right,
But
right.
definitely the quality that we're doing, I've seen stuff worse on Tubi. So I was like, hey man, why not? I mean, we're basically now doing like 5-minute movies. And you asked me earlier, like, how much time do we put into that? I'll maybe start thinking on a Saturday. The show's on Tuesday. I'll start thinking on a Saturday what we could do with the characters or a new villain or something like that.
Yeah.
Sunday, start taking it a little more seriously and locking it down. Maybe start filming a couple clips, and she'll start doing a couple clips. Monday is like an editing day where I try to get the bulk of it together. But even to do like a 5-minute skit type thing for a pre-record, you're talking, at least like 12 hours work.
Yeah, right.
Or more, and so a lot of effort goes in. It is a lot of pressure in a way, even though we just want it to be cheesy. But that was the kind of the secret. Like if we took too long to come up with something, it would be too good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you only give yourself 24 hours,
Right.
it won't be good.
Right.
And that's what we're looking for.
I wake up all the time with ideas, and I'm like, I'm going to shoot a movie today. Like I don't want to write the script. I want to just do it right. The ideas in my head, and I just want to wing it and grab some friends. And Norman's the only guy I know that would join me in trying to do that unscripted.
Right. Now, would you try to do a serious thing, or would it be? I mean, I feel like with a comedy, you can't go wrong because no matter how crappy it is, it's a comedy. So, hey man, come on, it's a comedy.
I'm not a funny guy. I like comedy. I don't have a funny bone in my body. I couldn't tell a joke if I tried. And so if I was, everything I come up with is either some kind of sci-fi or horror thing.
Sure.
And then but then I just can't, I can't get past I can't sit down and write a script. I just want to, which is funny because I've written 2 books. I know I can write. I just, I get so excited that I go, let's just shoot this movie right now. I'll just tell you what to say.
That's what I do. But you know what? That's not embrace that. You know what I mean? Like with Dahlia, she's all about the script. She's like, okay, I wrote a script. I'm like, and that's when she finds out I don't know how to read. Sorry, Dahlia, I can't. I don't know how to read, ma'am. And
Right.
no, I like to just ad lib scripts. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
come up
yeah.
with the dialogue like right as I'm about to shoot it, like a second
Right.
before. I'm like, and I was like, okay, somehow it just works. You
Yeah.
know,
I gotta someday just do that and just think to myself, if the take doesn't work, I'll just do another take. No one's gonna see
right.
the bad footage. I just don't show it to you. You know
Exactly.
what
I
I
mean,
mean?
they're not to say that I get it on the first one every time, but I go, or I'll try to expand on it or make sure I'm not missing an opportunity for an extra joke.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Trying to do different characters as yourself, you want them to be different enough. You
Yeah.
know, I think I played like probably 4 or 5 characters, so they all kind of speak a little differently. They have to look a little.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Masks help, you know, if you got a mask to put on,
Sure,
obviously.
sure. Yeah,
But
yeah.
the less people, the less cooks in the kitchen, the more easier I think it is
I
to get
agree.
something out quicker.
I agree. I agree. But I don't want to be the actor. I want to be the director. That's the thing.
Sure.
So I have to call someone and go, let's do this.
My friend that's in here, Scott Johnson, they've done Star Trek stuff where they have like a group of people that they go like, "Hey man, we're just doing our own Star Trek." You know what I mean? And they
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
do a pretty legit, you know, production of it.
Tons of people doing that with Star Wars right now too, man.
Right.
The Star Wars fans films look better than some of the current Star Wars stuff. It's fascinating world with those tools in the hands of the right guys. What's going to happen to Hollywood? I think soon. You know.
Yeah,
Like,
Pete's alluding to AI, right? Just this like fake
yeah, yeah, and the deep
actors and
fake
actors.
stuff and all that. Yeah, yeah.
People that have passed away that all of a sudden Betty White, the Golden Girls are going to be back.
Right, right. Yeah.
I don't know what to think of it. What do you think of it, Pete? If it's a famous,
Yeah,
iconic role.
Watching during the Mandalorian, watching Luke Skywalker return as Luke Skywalker from the age of Return of the Jedi,
Yeah.
I got excited. I loved it.
Was
I loved it.
Mark Hamill involved in that
He
at all?
was.
Okay.
He was, and that was what was important. If you
All right.
that made me enjoy it because he actually acted out every part, and then the other guy, another guy that looks like young him, acted it out, and then somehow they composited the two and deep faked it. He was very included in it.
Right. And
So
so,
that the
did he
man-
deliver the lines in it too?
Yes.
Or
Yeah, yeah. The mannerisms. He was there for the mannerisms and the stuff that you get
Right.
it.
Eventually, like you were saying now, like before the show, we were talking about green screens. I'm like, oh, those are cool. You're like, well, with this program, you don't even need a green screen anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's
soon they
called
won't need.
magnetic mask. The tool is called magnetic mask in Final
That
Cut.
sounds
I
like a
just- I
cool
told-
band name. That should be a
Yeah, I
band name
told
for
you I
like a
would
doom
remember it.
metal band.
Right,
We're
right.
Magnetic Mask.
Yeah.
This is our new song, Doom Trooper.
Here we go. Oh,
Nice. Maybe I should get some comments. I read everybody's stuff all the time, and tonight Pete's such a good guest. I'm just letting it roll like organically.
yeah.
Eternal Servant, hello. Friendly reminder to the camp: be cool, be kind to each other. Hi, Pete. What did you want to talk about most tonight? Thank you for the super chat, by the way, Eternal Servant. What did Pete want to talk? What was the most important thing that Pete wanted to let everybody know about that maybe you're misunderstood about?
Oh, geez. What's misunderstood?
I know with you were mentioning to me a few days ago stuff that goes up with the poison camps and stuff that sometimes whenever you chime in on that, it seems like you get maybe attacked by people who don't really understand how you feel about poison because you're actually a huge fan.
I'm a huge fan. I have videos of me playing Poison songs in my high school talent shows. I love CC DeVille. I love him as a player. I love him as a human being. Bret is my best friend in the world. I think that what two things that bother me most is when people tell me to stay out of Poison's business, but they're all online talking about it.
Only we're allowed to talk about it.
Why do I have to stay out of their business? But there's here's 400 of you offering your opinion.
How do you handle that with Bret? I mean, I gotta say, Bret sounds super cool from everything you told me. Steven is the coolest boss that anyone could ever imagine
right.
having. I mean, he's literally the most laid back, chill guy. I mean, he just does not throw an attitude with the band. He doesn't really care. He just wants to just let's go. But I mean, he's never really there's times where maybe I've opened my mouth up and he's like, or whatever. But does that happen? Does Bret ever tell you, "Oh, Pete, come on, man, don't say this or that"?
Yes. Yeah. There's been a couple times over the years where somebody said something online and it gets to Bret's ears before me, and I'll get a text from Bret, "Hey, don't respond." And then the next text is, "Too late, I see you already did."
But he has that just that love for you that you really can't do wrong with him, huh? Or he knows in your heart you're not a mean-spirited guy. So even if you tell people how you feel about something, it's not malicious. It's just you're just being passionate about how you feel about it.
Well, that's the other thing that cracks me up. On the couple times where I've had to have Bret's back on a couple things, the backlash of "Oh, you're just doing that because you're on the payroll." Why could it not possibly be that I just have my friends back?
Right.
That makes me crazy too.
Does it make you? Do trolls kind of make you chime in sometimes, or do you?
They do, but
have you learned to not feed the trolls?
So, I played my first live performance in 1982 in my 4th grade talent show, and I have been a performer my entire life. I walked off the stage of my graduation with my diploma in 1990, and I hit the road, and I got a thick skin real early. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes people come to me like, "Oh, my God, I can't believe, are you watching all these people say all these terrible things about you?" And then I go and look and I see that, but I also see a whole lot of people having my back. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why don't any of my friends ever call and go, "Did you see what they said nice about you?" Everyone's always quick to tell me what someone's saying bad. And I get that. That's their way of having my
I was
back.
horrified when I first joined Steven's band was 2001, which is now I'm going on 25 years.
Right.
But Stevie, Metal Sludge Stevie, has had the site since 1998.
Right.
Right. And a lot of people didn't really even know about Metal Sludge in the beginning. It grew. Obviously, the site grew over the years. But when I first saw things being said about me on there, I was pretty embarrassed and humiliated. But I mean, it either breaks you or shapes you, right? In a lot of ways. Sometimes they're right. The things that they might be saying is kind of true. The truth hurts or whatever. I mean, overall, I'm just playing the hand God dealt me. As far as how I look or whatever. I've learned that there is kind of an expectation to for rock guys to keep up a certain appearance.
Yeah. I
Right, I do
don't
my
care.
best.
I don't care about any of that. And
You don't, but you know what? I love Pete, and it's like you always have a huge smile. What I love about watching you perform and the whole Bret Michaels band is just how happy you guys are to see the fans, and
That's right.
nobody gets the people pumped up like Bret Michaels.
Nobody.
Yeah, one time I was filming you guys from the side of the stage. I didn't realize he was in the shadows. Bret was right behind me, and all of a sudden he just comes running out, and
Yeah.
people go insane for him when he hits the stage. It's like Beatlemania.
His energy is infectious. But it's funny what you just said. What does it really mean to be rock and roll or punk? Is to rebel, right? It's the whole thing was built
break
on
the mold,
break the mold
expected.
And so when you say there is something's expected, there is an expected image, but I win because I am 100% fucking rock and roll. I'm not playing by the mold. I get up every day, and I shouldn't have to get dressed for the show. If I'm truly living and breathing who I am, I should look like that all day long, right? And
Yeah.
and what you see is what you get. I changed my shirt, but it's still just a black T-shirt. I put on a pair of jeans that might be a little tighter than the ones I wear during the day, but to me, at this point, it's backwards. To me, not dressing up and not looking super rock star is the most fucking rock and roll thing I think I can do.
Yeah, it's anti rock star. No, it's Bret Michaels band comes off very authentic and you know,
Oh yeah,
and also I think you guys play so many shows for one. It's really
so many.
something else, man. I really respect how hard you guys have to work. I mean, you guys probably do over 100
Oh, easy. Yeah, yeah.
easy, right? I mean, I did like 60 shows in 2024 and there was a lot of flying involved. But that was that I felt like I was gone a lot. It took a lot out of me. My health kind of took a dip to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this. I don't know. I don't know if people realize how much stamina is
Nobody,
involved to play
brother.
that many
No,
shows.
and there's a lot of people that respect it. There's a lot of people that go, I respect what you do, but no one knows what that is. No one knows
Right.
the mental psyche of, you know, don't fuck it. You're my brother and I love you, but don't lie to me and tell me that sitting in that hotel room sometimes by yourself staring at the wall doesn't make you fucking crazy, right?
It is. Yeah, you do have to stay. You know, there is a mindset you got to be in, and it's a relaxed one. You almost have to be like home,
Yeah,
right? Especially
yeah,
with all the BS for traveling. I mean, I love being when we're on the road and maybe have a bus or something like that.
yeah, yeah.
I can. That's a lot easier for me to when you have to do the flyouts. That I hate that, and
No one,
especially if it's just a one off or something.
right, right. Lobby call at 6 a.m.
Oh
No
yeah,
one,
or earlier, yeah.
yeah, or so yeah. No one understands or believes that. You know why people don't see rock stars in airports is because we're there earlier than all of you.
That's right.
Not that we're rock stars, but you get what I'm saying. you know,
Definitely.
you have to take the first flight out to get there in time to have sound check. So, how many times
Right.
have you walked into the airport and the security's not even open yet? Right? Have you ever
Oh,
had
yeah, right. The ticket counter is not going to be open for another hour.
Right, right. But you just have to. No one knows that life until you fucking do it. And I'm
Well,
not
people know
complaining.
flying though. We all, I mean, you don't have to be a rock star to go fly somewhere, you know, but we all
Right.
know how much it sucks. Just
Yeah.
the whole security. I mean, I've watched it. It's gotten better, right? I mean, you and me have been doing this for decades. When I first joined the band was like right after 9/11 when it just
Right,
went
right,
from when flying was a fun cool thing to feeling like you're going to jail. You know, they're
right,
basically like treating you like aside from spreading your butt cheeks, you don't have to do that, but you might have to.
right. It's funny. You may not know this. I flew on 9/11.
I did I flew a day or two after. But
Yeah,
you flew
but
on the day. Wow,
I
so did
flew.
your flight didn't get grounded?
Not only did I fly on the day, I flew out of Dulles Airport, and my plane left 5 minutes different from the the plane that left from
Wow.
Dulles. I literally
Allegedly.
I literally went through security at the same time. Um,
Damn.
but I remember that day. I remember having the Line 6 pod. Do you remember the original Line 6
Oh yeah,
pod?
those are great.
And I
Yeah.
had that in my bag on 9/11, and I remember thinking it was brand new, and I remember thinking they're going to think this is a bomb. I remember thinking that on
Yeah, they're gonna
9/11.
think they do think that, by the way, folks. Like my pedal boards and stuff.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
like you
yeah.
can tell, especially now that there isn't a lot of musicians traveling. Pete and I are like where it's a
Yeah,
small like pool. I don't know. There's probably only like at the most like a couple hundred of us that are at
yeah,
Rock
right.
Soldiers that are even out there all the time. So they
That's
don't.
right.
Some of these airports don't see a lot of gear. You know. So when all of a sudden they see a pedal board with all these
I do.
wires and batteries and pedals and stuff, it totally looks like something dangerous.
This is my Audio Technica 4050 mic. That Brett's voice sounds great in this thing. So this is what I travel with. This always goes with me everywhere I go. I have an AKG up here that I 414 that I use in my home studio. But the amount of times that this has had to get, I have to let them check my bag because of this fucking thing. You know what
Really?
I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, yeah. But my point was, I clearly remember security that day on 9/11, and then I remember a week later it was a prison, like you said.
Prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell Brett all the time, I play for free. You're paying me to go to airports. That's what you're
Definitely.
paying. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying.
I mean, there's certain things that we do to make it easier, like I always, for the longest time, I was so frugal, I didn't want to pay for the, what do you call that, pre-check stuff or
Oh
whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you have to. I mean, just to not have the guy
Yeah.
have to go
I
in the
use
X-ray
Clear
thing.
now. Have you used
Right.
Clear?
I'm aware of it. I know that certain credit cards give you a free thing for Clear too.
Yeah.
The lines, it varies, with Clear and whatever. If
Yeah.
you have both, then
Yeah,
that's
you can
good
do
too.
TSA pre with Clear. But the
Right.
reason I like Clear is you don't have to take your ID out. It's all
Ah,
visual scanned or whatever. And
yeah.
I hate fumbling with my ID. I hate that.
Right. That is
Yeah.
annoying when you're trying to carry your stuff.
Yeah. But then I feel arrogant when they bump me up to that front of that line and like, why am I any better than anyone else that, because it's
Oh, I
not
don't care. I'm like, come on, man. I'm always like super late or running late. I'm like, oh, thank
right.
God. That's the
Yeah,
one
yeah,
time I'm
yeah,
kind of act that way, but
yeah. Yeah.
that's nice. You're so humble about it.
Well, I always feel like I just feel like someone's gonna throw a
I remember
knife at
one
me.
time I was totally not going to catch it. I was going to miss this flight and I was in line. It was like at the Delta counter and there was a guy in front of me and I was like, is your flight, sir? Is it on time and everything? Because I was basically trying to plead with him. Could I please go in front of you right now? Because if
Yeah,
I don't get
yeah,
this
yeah.
guitar checked right now, I'm not going to get on the flight. He's like, oh yeah, my flight's on time. But he did not want to let me go in front of him. And I was
Oh,
like, oh, come
right,
on. And I was like,
right.
remember, it's not that I want to be, what's that word to describe somebody like that thinks that they're so important that they should be, oh, whatever, entitled. That's what I was trying to think. Like, I
Entitled.
didn't
Yeah,
want to seem entitled, but I was just pleading. It's like, come on, man, can't you see the look on my face, how stressed out
yeah.
I am?
I'm panicking. You can see
Yeah,
the
and then he goes up and he was like, he had something he needed done that was going to require all this time too. It's like, and he had time. His flight wasn't for like 2 hour boarding for like 2 hours or something.
right,
But these guys
right,
taking like 25 minutes and they're having to leave to go look somewhere else to help this guy. I was like, man, what a jerk. Um,
right.
I don't
Well,
remember where I was going
you
with
see
that.
but you see people's true colors in airports. You see it.
You can, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Irritation.
Well,
I
you'll
hate
see
it.
mine. I've had many a meltdown in an airport. Believe me.
So have
Oh
I.
my God.
So have I. I hate the airport. I'm an uplifting guy. I'm a positive guy. Love and peace to everyone. I fucking hate the airport. I hate it. I'm sorry. I hate it.
What's Pete Evick's worst airport meltdown that you can recall where you think you made a scene?
Drunk or sober.
It could be either. Did you have a drunk episode in an airport?
I've had a couple super drunk episodes at airports where they were threatening to not let me even get on the plane.
Ah,
Unfortunately, I was so drunk I don't remember what I was doing.
well, that's unfortunately, right?
Yeah, but um, I've had a couple meltdowns when the delays start coming, and
Right.
you realize you're not.
You're
getting
going to be
out.
stuck wherever you are.
Yes, I throw a tantrum. It
Yeah.
just because then the panic is, am I even going to make the show at all tomorrow? You know what I mean? Like it stresses me out to the level where you ever watch the end of the Howard Stern movie and that guy's so frustrated with Howard, you going, God damn Howard Stern, let me tell you, and he's walking up and down the streets. Do you know that part of that at the end of the movie?
I think
That's
so.
how I get. I get real pacey and real agitated and I get mad. I get mad because it's just out of my control. There's nothing I can fucking do, and it makes me belligerent.
The worst is when you got to like, you realize you are going to miss your flight and you
Yes.
finally get to the air. You're usually on a delayed flight where they got this holding pattern they're doing.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
finally, where they'll divert you and finally get to you to where you're going. But the thing will tell you, oh, we're gonna have to rebook you on a flight or go to the nearest help desk, but it's already like after 11 at night.
That's right. That's right. Have you ever been in Chicago's airport when everything's shut down and
Oh,
you?
I've been at every airport after everything's shut down. It's like a post-apocalyptic movie or something.
Yeah, yeah. Me and my drummer Chuck had to spend Christmas Eve in Chicago airport one night.
Oh, that would make me so mad.
Chuck is my brother, and thank God, if I would have been alone, I might have lost my fucking mind. And my kids were young, and rushing home for the kids. It was very much like that old movie Home Alone type of moment, like when she was trying to get home, and then you're just fucking mad. I get the most mad when you're just sitting on that tarmac. That's when I get the most mad.
Well, yeah, especially if they're like, they changed the law now where they have to let you off. They can't trap you on that plane for more than like an hour before they'll let you off, right, or something.
Yeah, but an hour is a long time, brother. You know that, sitting on that thing.
Yeah, it's mostly my stress, I'd say typically is with the passengers for sure. Just the elbow. There's just certain things of touring that I hate. It's touching other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's funny you say that. When Dean gets on a plane, he talks to the person next to him the whole fucking flight.
Okay,
right?
Dean and I are not sitting next to each other. No.
It's correct. I will not sit next to Dean.
Okay, Dean. Joking.
When I get on
I would
a
talk
plane,
to Dean.
When I get on a plane, I hate to say it, but I do this.
Right. Don't talk to me. Closed for business.
I close my eyes. I just close my eyes. Even if I'm wide awake in my brain, I get on a plane, I put my hood on, and I lean. If I got a window seat, I lean up into it, because no matter where I'm a heavier dude, but I'm not one of those guys that takes.
You're not egregious. You're like, I'll take the window seat so I can take my chunky self over here by the window or whatever.
But it's funny. I don't want to sound like such an asshole, but sometimes I'll be looking at the dude sitting on the plane next to me that managed to get his elbow there instead of mine, and I'm like, why the fuck do you get to have your elbow? Why?
That's the new first class seat, is the middle seat all of a sudden.
right.
It's like, dude, the middle seats for the people that are late, or whatever, usually, where you would expect it's not going to be good for you, but they're like, hey, how's it go? Wow, lots of room on this flight. Huh? I get both armrests. You know the rule. And you're like, dude, come on. You get both armrests, but not passed into you're in my zone now. And when you have to like explain that to people, it's so frustrating. And I have like zero tolerance. Now, one thing that's helped me is now I'm on blood pressure medication.
So am I.
So like that helps. I gotta make sure that has helped a lot. So then I'm chill, or I have my little things. I mean, for you, it sounds like a few drinks. I don't now personally. I don't drink too much when I'm flying. It kind of messes me up.
I don't.
One funny story, probably one of the most buzz I ever got, and I'm going to incorporate a really cool dude, Zack Wylde.
Oh.
Okay, I happen to be like, this was many years ago. He doesn't drink anymore, but this was like probably 20 years ago.
He did.
He's totally drink. Yeah. And so, I happened to be walking in the airport, and I looked over at the bar, and I see this biker jacket that says like Black Label. I think it was around when he first kind of started that band. And I go, oh my God, wait a second. I saw that long blonde hair and the guy sitting at the bar. I'm like, I think that's goddamn Zack Wylde sitting there. I'm like, I have to go say hey to him. And that was one of the rare times I would actually like go up. But he was another guy when we were younger. He's a little older. Or maybe he's 60 now or something.
Superstar though, man.
Yeah, he was a superstar with Ozzy back then. I thought he was so cool. And so I went up. I'm like, hey, are you Zack? He's like, yeah. I go, I play for Steven. He like kind of looked at me up and down because I didn't look anything like a Ratt guy. You know what I mean? But he was still super cool. He's like, you want a beer? And I ordered a beer, and they had the taps there, and I go, I ordered like an Amberbach beer, and Zach's like, Amberbach, the rich man's lager. It's just kind of funny. But he was so cool. I mean, we had a 4-hour layover, and I think he had some kind of long layover too. And he just kept buying us pints of these beers, and I was having such a good time listening to his stuff. I mean, it was such a memorable
Yeah, yeah.
experience of meeting one of your heroes, where it was actually cool. And then
Right.
I almost missed my flight, and then I had to go. They have those walking escalators things
Yeah,
that are
yeah.
flat. The people mover. Like I was late, and have you ever run on one of those?
Yes, yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, isn't that
And then when you
funny?
get off of it, it's like you hit a brick wall.
Yeah, it is like that. But you feel like you're running like a superhero, like 500 miles an hour, because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
going at the same time. And I remember just laughing because I was all buzzed. I'm
Right, right.
and but yeah, you're right. As soon as you step up, you end up.
Right, right.
It's not good. Um,
Right.
but yeah, that was just a funny bar story, probably the most buzz. But generally, nah, it's just makes it even worse for me to be drinking in the
Yeah, no, I
air.
get it. I get
I
it.
don't know how
I
you
get
do it.
Hey, brother, I hate to do this, but
Yeah, yeah.
I gotta get jumping, man.
No worries, no worries.
Can we come back? Can I do this again with you, brother?
Yeah, come back anytime. You've got something to promote. Brett's got anything going on you want to talk about? Whatever.
I just want to fucking talk to you, man. I love it. I love it.
Awesome. Yeah, we're here, guys. Every Friday's the Friday hang. As long as I'm not on the road myself, this is just where we are. 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Pacific. It's kind of like an AMA I do every week, but more so I did this just for a chance for the people to get to just talk to me about stuff, just
Yeah,
as a
it's
person.
great.
And we really appreciate that you came on tonight, Pete. Definitely, we're all going to give you a big cheer. It's a little long,
Sexy times.
yeah. But I'll hang out a little longer tonight and talk to you guys. I know I missed a lot of comments and so
Yeah.
forth.
Well, thank you, Eric, so much. brother.
Absolutely, brother.
Have a wonderful night.
You too, man. We'll talk to you soon, Pete. All right, that was badass. Love having Pete Evick. He's one of my favorite people in the business. He's just a real dude, and he's one of those guys that never changes. It's like I could not see Pete for a year or two. When I see him, it's just the same. But good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let me get in and see what's going on here tonight with you guys. Stoney Jackson. What up, Eric and Pete? Let's go. I know I'm a little late on comments tonight. Thanks for the super chats, everybody, by the way. Mike Hart is hail and kill. Hail and kill, sir. Good shot, Jansen. It's like fire and ice. Oh, yeah, this is the... you're doing the Motley Crue there. That was the guillotine. I knew the guillotine was in there. It's like fire and ice. Well, you're killing me. Your love's a guillotine. Yeah. Yeah, I knew I heard guillotine. That's probably where they got it, right? They put it in their young people minds, the Motley Crue. Jerome loves Disney. What's up? Hi, Eric. Hope your night is going well. Yeah, it is now. I mean, when Pete's in the house, Pete's just a chill dude. Kevin Smith, what up, Eric? Pete, it's in the chat. Kevin Smith, always happy to have you here, sir. And Steve Barker. Eric, killer player, bro. Yeah, I figured it out eventually. T-Cuz. I've read about Q recording. Pentagram with Joe Hasselvander playing all the instruments. Yeah, I was a little late to the game on the Pentagram thing. It wasn't until they did a documentary on the singer in the last couple years, but it's an interesting dude. And I like his performances. I like all the faces he makes. I love seeing older people just out there playing. It kind of just raises the bar for how long you can go out and rock. It's like we're finding out right now how old you can get and still go. And I think there's people that are 80 years old that still go out and play performances. And if their music's iconic enough, there's still younger generations that want to celebrate it too. Even if they weren't living back when that music first came out, they learned to love it or grown to love it over time. And you still see these guys. Alice Cooper comes to mind. I mean, he's pushing 80 years old, and I was super, super impressed with him and his band when I saw them with Judas Priest. Judas Priest has been around forever. I think I don't know the ages of all the Priest guys, but they're up there too. They're definitely probably in their 70s, but I love seeing them out there. I would love to be able to rock for another 20 years. I mean, that'd be super cool. Let me see. Pool Time with Rob. What's up, guys? Fun time tonight. Pete Evick. I don't usually have too many guests. Like, if I have a guest on the show, it's going to be a personal friend. I'm not like, oh, book an interview on here. I mean, most of the hangouts are just me, to be honest. Barney, full episodes. My son's favorite character is Fankoli. No way. Hold on. If that's the case,
I know that, dude.
yeah. Jerome loves Disney. That's so cute. Your kids watch the Fright Bite. Yeah. It's I'm trying not to be. I'm not a family show. I mean, I do put that it's not for kids as far as when I put the rating or whatever for these live things that we do. But in general, I've gotten away from using bad language and stuff like that anyway. It's like I don't think to be funny, I have to say those things. You know what I mean? I think humor, you can be just as funny without saying too much stuff like that. Not that I don't drop expletives occasionally when I'm talking to you guys, and I don't care if Pete does. I mean, come on. But just in general with the show, I mean, I think God damn it's probably the thing that Count Cracula says the most bad words wise. Let's see here. Cinder Fox. Bret is lucky to have you, Pete. And likewise, Steven having Erik. Down to earth guys, talented, and just great fits. Yeah, I do love that about Bret and Steven, that, when it came to Pete and myself, you never know how you look in other people's eyes, right? But to them, whatever they see, they love it, and they want to keep working with us. And for Steven, he realizes I'm not the quintessential, 80s rock looking guy, but he kind of dug that, what I mean? He knew me when he first met me, and you can see in the beginning of this show, you can see me with long hair and all that. But I've had like a similar hairdo as I've had now for like the last 25 years, and he liked that. He thought it was kind of a punk rock. He wanted to be like a punk rock version of a band. I mean, Steven hasn't always liked your typical heavy metal stuff. He loved Duran Duran and Adam Ant and all kinds of bands. He loved the fashion aspect with the music and everything that the 80s had going on. But I just appreciate that Steven never judged me that way. He just liked me as a person, and he liked the music that we made together, and that was the most important thing. And yeah, he's just kept me around. He's never got rid of me for some guy who looks more, whatever. And same with like Pete, but we're rock soldiers. We've been able to hang with this the longest. There's been other band members in both of those bands that they couldn't keep up with the pressure of it. And it is a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure with being a performer. Everything with the stress of traveling, the lack of sleep, the expectations of the people in the audience, and I mean, it's an interesting life. I'm glad that I've had a kind of slow acclimation to it. Steven's career in Ratt was amazing. How fast they just exploded in 1984, and what a crazy 10 years that was for those guys. When I came in, it was like already the 2000s, and the music wasn't quite popular again. Like there was a lull going on, and we were playing kind of smaller shows. So I've had time to kind of build up to playing the arenas that Pete's talking about, and I've played for long enough now that like I get more nervous thinking about going on a fly out or something than when I actually hit the stage and have to walk out there. It's Zen mode. I've done it so many times. I don't care how many people there are out there. I'm going to walk out and just be focused on the music. And I'm stoked to be at this, to have gotten this far. And I know Pete too. And we're just stoked that we're still here, doing it. And if it ends though, that's okay too, because we lived it, man. We did it for so long, for decades. And sometimes you need a break. Like I've had a pretty extensive break. My last shows I did with Steven were September of last year, and before I play with them again, that's going to be close to six or 7 months that I had off. But as you can tell, I lost a bunch of weight. I've got control of my health. I've done so many cool creative things. I'm going to be playing with some other bands that you guys are going to dig. Pump 5, look up Pump 5. These guys are great. I'm going to be, we just announced shows that we're taking off for in April. I actually have one coming up with them May 7th, which, God, oh man, I don't have my stuff together. I'm blowing it. I'll have to put it in the comments or something. But look up the band, follow them on YouTube and Facebook. Come party with us as we're out there. The Project, I play with the Project, and we have all kinds of cool music coming out. We just shot a couple new music videos recently, so I've made a lot with the time that I've had off. I needed it. I think just mentally, you kind of sometimes need to just recalibrate. But I will always have so much respect for Pete that, God, they've just gone and gone and gone. Bret does so many shows all the time, and that would be you have to respect his band to keep up with that. And he has a big band. I think I respect it more because I do that too, and I know what it takes. And I think that a lot of the audience doesn't all the time. No, most of you guys do, but there are people that think it's easy, or, oh, you got the easy job. You just, no, there is no easy job. You always have to be ready to rock. It's, God, where's my other thing I have for that?
Danger is my business.
What do we got here? Zachary Attackery. It's tough and enough's enough toured together. What would they call the tour? If tough and enough's enough, tough's enough. It would just be tough's enough, wouldn't it? I don't know. I'm going to just try to solve things quickly. Jay Lee, used to ride around with the scanner and a pizza delivery sign on my $50,000 truck, tricked out slinging boulders all night long. It was the funniest. So, a scanner, was that to avoid, was the scanner to avoid police stuff? Is that like a cop radar scanner type thing? So do cops not go after pizza delivery drivers as much? I'm trying to get it. Let me see. Jay Lee, rest in peace, Ace. Yeah, what a loss. Everybody was so sad about Ace. When I recently went to to that Judas Priest Alice Cooper concert, I noticed they played Ace. He had passed away, I think, a few days before they played San Diego here. And the whole night they were just playing Ace music in between the bands, and it sounded really good. His songs that Ace sang, they grew on me over the years, especially since we played a lot of shows with Ace over the years. And I appreciated Ace, I really did. And it was super sad that he passed away, but he left us some great music and some great times, and it's just, we can always listen to the records and think about him. Mike Hardesty. Love Jake's gritty guitar tone. Yeah, I love that Jake stayed pretty true to being, blues based guy, but he threw his cool little tricks, and his solos on, like, Bark at the Moon and stuff are legendary. Let me see. Brad Gillis was no slouch when he had to step in when Randy Rhoads passed. Brad Gillis is awesome. I mean, that's another band we play with all the time, and Brad Gillis looks terrific too for his age. But he still plays the same Strat that he played back then when he took over for Randy. He's got that same guitar, if you can believe that. But he always throws down, and he is probably one of the whammy kings as far as whammy bars goes. He's always great at that. Jay Lee, Jake was fire. That's right. Oh, look who showed up tonight. Chris Aiken. Just popping in to say hey to my two favorite guitarists. Rock on, boys. Well, thank you, sir. We hope you're rocking and rolling there. Castle Freak. Annabella Lewin was hot back in the day. Yeah, she was young, though. That was like a kind of big deal back in 1981 or 2, because she was only like 14 or 15 years old when the band got her. And but talking to Lee Gorman, who was running the Bow Wow Wow version that I was in, they all kind of looked out for her. She was like a little sister, and they all kind of made sure she was just watched over and kind of protected as much as possible. And both they kind of got two Bow Wow Wows going. There's Lee goes out and does shows, and then Annabella still makes appearances and stuff, and both of them are a good time. if you like that stuff, go check out both bands out there. Jay Lee, I've seen Duran Duran. They were awesome. Lots of girls on film there. I know some of these bands are, when you go, you can expect to see more of the ladies. Who we got? David Mills. Thank you, sir. David Mills got 5 on it. Hello from the East Coast. Well, hello, sir. Those are my starred comments. Man, we had a ton of comments. This is, I gotta say, out of all my live hangouts, this one with Pete tonight seemed to have, if I'm not mistaken, the most congruent, consistent amount of people in it, and a ton of comments tonight. So I appreciate everybody that was here. Hope you all are subscribed to the show. I really want to hit I don't know if we hit it yet. We're probably close to it, but I want to hit the 2,000 mark. I revved up this channel 4 months ago, and I'd love to see it start getting into the bigger number range. I feel like I kind of plateaued a minute. I'm like, come on. But just make sure if you're watching, you're subscribed. I appreciate it. Mr. Craig Cashew, this is actually a really good interview. I don't know how to take that, sir. Were you expecting it not to be? Come on. Steve Barker, you only live twice. That's awesome. I did come up with the name View to a Thrill. We wanted to keep a Bond thing with that. And of course, View to a Kill was a popular James Bond movie when I was a kid. And, we just thought, Steven Pearcy, Thrill. Let's change it to Thrill. And it kind of worked. I was really proud that I came up. I mean, I didn't come up with it. I stole it off of the Bond thing, but I thought it was clever enough that it worked. Barney full episodes. The kids watch a Fright Bite. Oh yeah, I already saw that one. And I appreciate that. And we will be back. Dahlia, Dark, and Count Cracula will be back Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific. Cinder Fox, Violator, Skyfallen, Not Killing Me from the Inside. Yeah, those are all cool songs. Violator's cool because Christy sings on there. Steven's Lady Christy sang on that, and I thought that was really cool that they had a duet that Steven and her did. I thought it came out pretty cool, and that's a kind of a more, not a punk rock song, but I don't know. Violator is a very interesting tune. Not Killing Me is good. It had Robbie Krieger from The Doors. So the slide guitar that you hear on there is Robbie Krieger from The Doors, which that was another cool thing that happened in my life as far as playing with a legendary person, was when Robbie agreed to do this song. And I think he just did it to be nice, and he had a studio at home and he just sent us the tracks, and I just thought that was so cool of him to do. And I told my parents listened to The Doors, so I heard it growing up, and I loved the band, so that was a super cool thing. Pool Time with Ron, what's up, guys? Definitely not gonna be reading everything in here tonight, but I'll read most of it. Steel Corner, hey Eric, how goes it this evening, buddy? Like I said, now that Pete was here, I'm in a good mood all of a sudden. All right, let me see here. Let me go over to these. Okay, my super carrot, Marsha. Hello, Pete. I would like to purchase a candle that has a baby powder linen type scent. You pick. Well, that is pretty nice. I will ask him if he does anything like that, and we'll find out. Let's see what else we got going on tonight. Let me see here. Oh, a little Jakey Lee love. Mike Carter's Badlands first album has some of the sickest solos on it. Yeah, I liked Badlands. I'm pretty sure I went and saw them live as a kid. I used to, the after bands Badlands, Lynch Mob, after Dokken. The next wave of their endeavors kind of kicked in, and I did love all that stuff. That was right around the time that I was first starting to play guitar. I was around like 15 or 16, and those are good times, man. Definitely good times. Even though I was, really young, I still loved all the music and playing guitar. Jay Lee, and the people need to get over that you're not CC and that you play your way. No, Pete's a great guitarist. They always used to even CC DeVille, they would if they had their levels, they would kind of give CC crap and stuff. But CC, even on the earlier albums, really came up with some really good hooks with his playing, and it even got CC improved too over the years. Like by the time they were doing like Ride the Wind and stuff, I mean, you can't be a slouch to play that on guitar, and to play in Bret's band, you got to be good, man. And again, these guys can get anybody to play for them. I mean, let me put it this way. Everybody that you see in every band that was on MTV that still plays today, everybody's good. You have to be good just to get into the party. You know what I mean? So everybody that you see is good. Now, some people are better than others or whatever, but you try to stay as humble as possible. I didn't write the Ratt songs. Well, I kind of walk around like all arrogant. Not that I would if I did, but no, I mean, I'm just happy to be playing most of the time. But I'm super stoked that the new Pearcy record's coming out. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, that we need some positive stuff coming out, and I love it. Let me see. Erik is a great interviewer. Well, I mean, I don't really do much. Thank you. I don't really do much interviews. This was like, I had a lot of stuff going on today. I ain't gonna lie. And I was totally like not prepared for Pete. So not that it matters. I mean, I just kind of dealt with tonight like it was just I was hanging out with them like if you guys weren't watching. You know what I mean? I didn't have any questions in particular set aside for him, and he's the kind of guy where that's probably not the way to go with him. It's better to just wind Pete up and let him go and just see where he takes us, right? Oh, that was Chris Aiken. Yeah, got that. I had starred some comments, and now I'm back over to like the real time ones. What's T-Cuz saying there? They should redo that to the girls on the World Wide Web. Well, if you're talking about Girls on Film, we did redo it. You guys could check out Steven, Matt Thorne, and me under Steven Pearcy. Look up Girls on Film. It's on YouTube. What's this say? Jaylee, I own Letter from Death Row. Is that I don't know what that is. Christianity, what's up? John Taylor signed my bag. His wife designed. That's pretty dope. Nice. Let me see. T-Cuz wants to boycott underwear. Keep the boys free. Did you guys see the atomic wedgie that Baronet gave Count Cracula and ripped his Calvin Klein's? He was bummed. Jay Lee again. Also, don't use rolled up dollar bills or backs of toilets. Oh, right. That sounds like a drug thing there. Chris Aiken. I have Adobe Premiere for video editing, but do 99% of my stuff on NCH VideoPad, which is as ghetto as it gets. I love it. Except it's easy and flawless. Yeah, sometimes it depends on what I'm working on. You know what I mean? If it's just some basic editing thing that I got to do, the less buttons around, the better. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll just go iMovie. I don't know if I'd ever go back to GarageBand from Logic now that I've been using it for so long, but I mean, I don't do a bunch of complex stuff normally anyway. I'm not a guy who ever needs a ton of buttons. Also with amps, like when I see an amp that's got 100 buttons on it, I'm like, no, can't do it. T-Cuz, Plan 9 from Outer Space, baby. I watched that the other night, T-Cuz. Because Vampira's in it, which I forgot that Vampira was in it. And yeah, it's cool. Like Dahlia embraced the vibe Vampira, so we do our Wheel of Fortune. Well, let me pull this off first before you. Where did you go? Hold on, Chris Aiken. Wow, dude. Where was I gonna go with this? Down here, maybe? Oh, I'm looking at my assets. Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Feel misfortune.
Dahlia spins lets the super chats do it, spin a wheel of misfortune, and she went in the backyard and dressed up like Vampira for that one. I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, that movie's something else. Plan 9 from Outer Space, Ed Wood movie, and it's just, I mean, I like how some of the characters look, but yeah, it was kind of rated the worst movie of all time for a long time. There's so many worse movies now. What's funny about those movies back then is they always had like some kind of propaganda or like PSA, public service announcement that they would incorporate into it, which I always thought was kind of interesting. In that movie, they kind of do that too. Like all of a sudden, one of the characters will like break away and just start, doing an ad for cigarettes or whatever. Let me see. Castle Freak. 9/11 changed everything. You know what I hated about that? I hated that they said that. It was like they were putting it out there. No, everything's going to change, when you realize like they probably plan to have everything kind of changed right now, and they wanted us to just accept those changes, which were probably going to be mostly security changes, right? You know what I mean? So it bothers me whenever they do that. Like, how do you know it's never going to be the same again? We're not in the, would you have a crystal ball? But it was like, anyways, let me see. Thomas Bailey on Bark at the Moon album. Think it was Center of Eternity. Jakey Lee is shredding. Yeah. Rock of Love. Ronnie Brown. I see a doo-doo in there. Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch Rock of Love, but man, that had a lot of viewers. And once these rockstar guys like go on a show like that, it kind of revives their career in a lot of ways, because it just opens you up to a completely new audience, and you just become like a more known superstar. I mean, I feel like if Bret hadn't gone on these shows, and I don't know if his solo career would be as huge today or not. You know what I mean? It's like the people just love Bret and stuff he's done, and there is not ever like a sad face at a Bret Michaels show. It's just a big happy party gras there, and it was a good time to play those shows with the band. I mean, I love all the bands that we tour with, and it's interesting after all these years. You just get to know them, even if we're not like friends like in real life. I've done enough shows with Quiet Riot and Slaughter, and same guys playing Vince Neil's band or whatever. But it's cool, man. I mean, I like my life. I like how it turned out. We're all probably around the same age, everybody here tonight. And we grew up listening to these guys, these rock bands on MTV, and how I get to, go on stage and, maybe it's not all the same original members. I don't care. But the catalog's being played. There's guys from those bands in those bands, and we're all on the same bill. And it's special to me. I mean, even Quiet Riot, we all bought Metal Health when it came out in the early 80s. They're playing on the bill, and I hear, Metal Health playing before we go on. I get pumped, I enjoy it very, very much, and I'm very grateful. Jay Lee, I mean vocalizer. I missed the first part. What's this? Jay Lee, haha, man cave sessions, rock. Yeah, this is my room here is the cave. Like me and the cats just hang in here all day. Susan's at work or whatever, and I'm always working on something. If it's not music, it's video. Thomas Bailey, Vince Neil's band opened for Van Halen in Raleigh, Walnut Creek Amphitheater on Van Halen's FUCK album, and Vince Neil's Exposed. Yeah, and our homeboy Robbie Crane, right, played in the band. He has such great stories. I don't know if you saw him on the Hair Metal Gurus interview recently. He did a hella long interview, but all the interviews we did, got like maybe 5,000 views, but Robbie Crane's got like 40,000. He has such an interesting life, but I mean, whatever. I just want to let you guys know like how good of a dude Robbie is, and he's definitely a friend. And throughout the years, he's always been an inspiring person to me. It seems like he always pops in and like says just the right thing to me to keep me on track and keep me knowing that everything's gonna be all right. He's like one of those guys, and he doesn't take any crap either. you know, which is cool. And he's just, I don't know, man. Everybody who doesn't like Robbie Crane? I mean, come on. Let me see here. Barney Phillips, we care about you, Erik. Oh, well, thank you. I mean, I don't like it when people don't care about me. Yeah. Thomas Bailey, you have to get up every 30 minutes to avoid blood clots on a long flight. Yeah, my worst thing was after the heart attack. You're not generally supposed to go flying or something, but 2 days later, I'm like, I wanted to get home. We were like, when something bad happens to you and you're not in the state that you live in. But I remember they're like, okay, just don't cough. And if you do, hold on to your stomach or something. I don't know. I was nervous about it. And I was nervous about something weird happening, but obviously I made it. Let's see. Thomas Bailey, Castle Freak. Yeah, it rocks. Even so tired shows how good Ozzy's voice was. Oh, at the very end. Zack Wylde is an awesome guitarist. What was cool about Zack, I mean, all the guys that played for Ozzy had a little something different they gave to us, right? I mean, Randy was kind of the neoclassical shred. Zack was he was just this like kind of cowboy with the squeals and the crazy vibrato that he did and everything, plus his like killer stage presence. Jakey Lee, I mean, they're all different, right? Like all three of those guys are like totally different, but equally as awesome. I mean, you don't want to have to pick one of them, right? You want all of them there. That would have been cool to see at least 3 or 4 of them come up for something. I mean, we got to see Jake come up. That final concert was important to have happen. Let me see here. Again, I'm probably not gonna read everything. Let me see. Ronnie Brown, great show, Erik and Pete. Yeah, I mean, Pete wants to come back. Maybe, every couple of weeks, Pete can pop in just for a hang. Jerome loves Dizzy. We love Erik. Oh, thank you, Jerome. I really do appreciate that very much. I'm gonna skip down here. Yeah, the Rolling Stones. Yeah, I mean, this isn't from the 60s. I think I probably bought this at Walmart or something. But it's a Stones shirt, and I love the Stones. People tend to pick between one or the other, Stones or Beatles. And I think growing up, I enjoyed the Stones a lot more, and I didn't really get into the Beatles. But there's so much music that maybe I didn't like when I was younger, but eventually it grew on me. And I can't deny how many awesome songs the Beatles had. But I just love more Stones songs, I guess. And my parents, it really came down to my parents. They were just more Stones people. Tony, Erik, thank you for being a cool dude and being real. It's refreshing. Hey, man, I don't know how to be a fake dude. I'd try it, but reading the same one. I'm a blind dude, apparently. I'm putting the same comments back up. Woo. Let me see. Skylar B. What's happened, Skylar? Went to see Bret Michaels' band in Party Gras. Great show. It was totally cool, man. I mean, I'm just lucky that because there's some singers like where they'll do the Party Gras and they'll just bring the singer up for it. D. Snyder comes to mind. And I think that was originally proposed to Steven, to just have him come and play on stage with Bret's band. And that's one thing I love about Steven. He was like, no, I want my band. I want my band. He could have easily just taken that money and whatever. He was like, nope, I want my band. And I thought that was super cool because I wanted to be there too. I want us all to be there. And so that was cool at Steven. He usually is like that. Steven doesn't do a ton of that where he just shows up and plays with some band that he doesn't know who it's going to be or something. You won't see, he does it very, occasionally, but usually he has us there. He likes having some people he knows, especially a guitarist, like having a guitarist he knows that is going to throw down and can help sing a little bit. Let me see. Mr. Craig Cashew. I like that you're taking the high road, but I like that you called out a bully. Yeah, there's only one way to deal with the bully, and you got to knock their ass out. That's it. Jay Lee, Eric loves the high road. Ah, I see what you did there. Yeah, the high road is a professional road, really, because you don't regret taking. You never in your life are going to regret taking the high road ever, ever. Mr. Craig Cashew, how did you lose the weight? I was pissed off, to be honest. I was just like on that elliptical. Oh, really? No, but at first, I did go every day. I want to say for like, and my audience that has been with me the whole time, I think I put it out there. Let's do it together, guys. Come on. We got to live forever and be healthy, quality of life. And I was just trying to inspire people to get in shape with me. Like, let's do it together. While I'm doing it, why don't some of you fat asses do it too? And I don't know if anybody took me up on it or not, but I kept to it, and I was just in real time each week, popping on and going, look, I'm a little less fat. I'm a little less fat. I think for the first like month or two, I went every day, and I would go on that elliptical machine. And they have their own like workouts that you could push on there. And there was one called the Fat Burner. And I put it on that. It's like an hour workout with like a 5-minute cool down. And that's kind of been it kind of takes care of most of everything because I'm kind of lazy. I don't want to get up and do 20 different things. I get on there, either watch something or watch a podcast or listen to music and just hit it for the hour. And that's it. Now I'm probably doing it like four days a week and just trying not to eat too much on the days I don't. But on a day I don't do it, I was probably busy doing other stuff. But yeah, generally there's some medications I kind of stopped taking. The cholesterol thing they had me on was like way too high of a dose, and I go, I would rather see if I could try to bring my cholesterol down with my weight and get off of some of this big pharma crap. Because I've heard about like early onset dementia coming in from like, who knows, it might be lack of cholesterol. We need cholesterol. Our brains are made of cholesterol. So science is interesting, man, how it kind of changes its view on stuff over the decades. I mean, they've definitely lowered the cholesterol that they've said you should have, which makes it seem like everybody needs to be on a pill when people had higher cholesterol back years ago. And when they've looked at the people that have lived the longest lives, they have had a higher level of cholesterol, especially from what the numbers they say are good now. When Pete mentioned blood sugar earlier, and he mentioned that he had a couple episodes and Brett's a diabetic, so of course there's going to be an issue there. But what he said, 300, holy crap, that's a lot. I did test mine. I saw my mom recently, and she, of course, is a freak about her stuff lately now. And she had some kind of blood test thing, and she tested mine when I was there, and she said it was like 70 something. So that's pretty good. She was happy to see that, and I was happy to see that. Don 951, Erik Ferentinos, do you ever play local here in San Diego? I haven't. It seems like I rarely play here in San Diego. Almost was going to have a 13A reunion with the boys, but no. And I feel like Steven doesn't get too many gigs down here for some reason. I end up like LA seems like the closest. But I'll let you guys know. You never know. I was telling the project, I'm like, dudes, when are we going to just start playing every weekend? Just some small places from where you guys are up in Pomona down to here, Let me see here. Oh, you know what? I read that one. What do we got? Spicoli. Did you check out the Gus G cover of Money for Nothing? Dude killed it. Did you send me that today, Spicoli? I didn't get around to it, but everybody check out Gus G's cover of Money for Nothing. Does he get the tone? God, what's that? I forget the guy's name now. That does it. Anyways, that's a finger picking song. Okay, let me see here. Frank Avalar. Hey Eric, quick question. What drummer do you enjoy playing with the Steven Pearcy band? Also, name 3 of your favorite drummers. Love your playing, bro. I enjoy playing with all the ones, and it's been cool to have had some great drummers over the years in the band. Thinking back on it, Greg D'Angelo it was cool to have him in the band. He was, of course, White Lion drummer. Scott Coogan, we all know Scott Coogan has played for tons of bands. I got to play with him. Jimmy DeAnda beats the shit out of the drums. I mean, he's so cool. I love Jimmy, and he really does have a groove. He's such a pocket guy. I mean, he's got that Latin thing going on, and they know how to, you know. Blas Elias is probably the most professional guy I've ever worked with, without a doubt. You know, just as far as like, I mean, talk about taking the high road. I mean, he just is always in a positive headspace. You never see that guy saying anything bad about anybody. He just shows up, does his thing, and he does it at the highest professional level. And that has been another like cool thing in my life, to like get to that level where you're playing with and you're sharing the stage with someone like that. You know, I mean, it took a long time to get here. And when you're about to go on stage and Blas Elias, you know, points that stick, you ready? And you go out and you're, you know, it's magic. Let me see here. Jerome Davis, we need to get Erik his YouTube plaque. I didn't hit 2,000, did I? I mean, I was hoping I would. I'm hoping we do tonight, but not sure if we're gonna. God, people are just hanging tonight. Usually I would call it a night already, but we're still got 100 people. What are we, only 100 short? 100? Oh, no, he's saying he could get one at 100,000 subscribers, I'm pretty sure, Jerome. So, you know, it would probably take a while to get 100,000 subscribers. I would have to have, I don't know what I could do to get that many. Is that possible? I didn't dream that big, Jerome. Let me see here. J. Lee, Dahlia is hot and love her mesmerized look when you sing. She digs it when Cal Cracula sings, and there are going to be songs sung this Tuesday. I got the main stage working finally with the new computer, and it worked like I paid for this this app that allows me to like switch between the audio. So if Count Cracula is going to sing something, it'll actually have some reverb and stuff live. Because that was the only thing when he performed. It was like super dry, and just with the one mic and the guitar, it didn't sound all that great. But it'll actually start to sound a little better, and that is, that is the secret to getting Dahlia in a good mood, is to play some songs. And here's another Dahlia compliment, Jerome Davis. Dahlia seems like an awesome person. Yeah, Dahlia digs you, Jerome. Dahlia is an awesome person, a very, very awesome person. And as I said, I'm just like, it's crazy how the world works when people just come into your lives at certain points. You know, I don't take it for granted. And, you know, she just came in at the perfect time. We had met like a month before online, but it's just crazy how quick, you know, within that short period of time, she agreed to do the Fright Bite. And here we work together every week. And there's pressure involved with that too. And, you know, when I first started the channel, it was all Steven Pearcy stuff. So I think some people see the Fright Bite thing and they're like, what is this? I didn't sign up for this. And so it hasn't, not everybody's going to like that. And it's okay. I'm not going to get bumped. As long as people appreciate what we put into it, throw us a couple super chats or something, we'll keep doing it. Let's see. Spicoli, I think I'm going to the Monsters of Rock cruise. I saw you said that. Why wouldn't you go, Spicoli? I mean, if you can afford to go and take the time off, those cruises are a lot of fun. I had a little anxiety before I went on the first one of those, but everything, I've done like probably 3 or 4 cruises now, and I'm more comfortable with the whole thing. And everybody's super nice on those. Everybody's like super friendly. I mean, it's an older crowd for the most part too. It's just like older rocker people, and they're just, everybody's happy and friendly, and there's music going on all day and night, and it's a great time. Tons of food. You'll love it. If you've never been, Spicoli, you'll love it. Jerome, no, I'm not a plumber. No, I'm a plumber. That's the Ace Frehley. Yeah. George Lynch or Warren DeMartini. Oh man, no, Tony, don't make me. I mean, my friends locally we were 15 and we got our first guitars, and these guys were like on top of the world. They were all my favorites. I like all the West Coast guitar slingers here, California guys. Just were all awesome, and I just thought how cool it would be to be able to play like that someday. You know, Warren just had the awesome vibrato. Lynch just had all the flat fifth cool. They're totally different guitar players. I appreciate both of them. Equally. Definitely. They're both around the same. If I was holding them up, that's a tough one. I'm like, I think one might be a little more, but I mean, come on. Can you guys pick between one of those two? Count Dracula, Spicoli says. Skylar's George. If Skylar had to pick, it would be George Lynch. Let's see. Chronica Steel Horse. Erik, do you have any plans to play North County or San Diego anytime soon? Maybe. Count Dracula and Dahlia were talking about starting some kind of like industrial vampire band, and maybe they'll start playing around here, and you guys can possibly get to meet them live somewhere. That would be kind of cool. Oh, so wait, where is this? Mr. Craig Cashew. I meant it was a really great interview. Very insightful, like two friends talking. Yeah, that's how I kind of want to continue with the with Unleashed. I don't want to have it like where I have, so I'm going to interview this person I don't know next week. I mean, you don't always jive with a person, and just because somebody plays in a band doesn't mean that they're a good interview or they have a personality or they're an authentic person. You know what I mean? If I'm going to have somebody on the show, it's going to be a friend of mine like Pete or somebody like that. Actually, anybody from Bret's band is an awesome, is going to be an awesome interview. And it won't be all the time, but I think as the show grows, maybe more of my friends will want to come on. Hey, why don't you have me on sometime? I mean, that might happen. That 70s guy, what's up? Ace's laugh was infectious in that interview. Yeah. A lot of Ace stuff out there to enjoy. What do I think of Black Star amps? They're good. I mean, people get some great sounds out of Black Star amps. I can get a good sound pretty much out of anything if I had to. But check out Mahaffey amps. Check out Splon amps. Those are two amp companies I work with. Erik, do you play with anyone else besides Steven Pearcy? Yeah, this year I'm going to be going out on the road with Pump 5, which check out their Pump 5's music on YouTube. Steve, the singer, has a really great voice. He really does. I mean, I'm super stoked when I get to sing with like a real singer guy, like go out there and there's songs like, even if you've never heard Pump 5, you could put on any of their music on YouTube and it feels like a song, it sounds like a real band. You know what I mean? And people love them live, tons of energy, and they asked me to play because they know I can throw down. And I was going to look up what the dates were. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked talking about myself. I know I have a Pump 5 thing on my Facebook here. Okay, so the first show is on March 7th, and it's in Parker, Colorado. It's at the Wild Goose Saloon. Pump 5. Some of these guys have long hair. Two of us don't have a lot of hair, and two of us do. Wild Goose Saloon, Parker, Colorado. We're playing with a band called New Wave, which is Tony Fennell. You might have seen from Enough's Enough, and he plays in When in Rome with Michael Floriel, who's the original. And I promise you I will. The Promise, that song. Anyway, they were in When in Rome when Bow Wow Wow toured, so I knew those guys. This will be the first time I've seen them in like 5 years, and we used to tear it up back in the day. I don't party like that anymore. I was kind of a little out of my mind in 2020, but they're gonna play in a band called New Wave. They do, I guess, a bunch of New Wave songs and probably When in Rome songs, I would guess. And so we play with them. Then April 9th at Knuckleheads in Kansas City. Anybody here from Kansas City? Anyone? Texas Hippie Coalition. You know that they're pretty heavy. We're doing shows with them. We're like opening for them and at Knuckleheads in Kansas City on 4/9. April 10th at the, God, how do you pronounce this? The Cotillion in Wichita, Kansas. So it's like 2 Kansas shows there. And then 4/11 at the local hotel with Silas Dogan Band and Bo and the Beards. And that's in Leavenworth, Kansas. And then on 4/13, tribute to Mama Ruth in Leavenworth, Kansas. All are welcome. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shows with Pump 5 already. I got 5 Steven Pearcy shows. The project doesn't have any shows booked as of right now, but we did get an agent, and it's the same agent that Bad Marriage has, and it's AFM Entertainment. You can get Len at AFM Entertainment, and you could book us to play, perhaps to come out to your town. Check out the project. The song "Death of Me" is pretty cool. They kind of hired me when they had most of the record kind of done, but I played some guitar solos on some of the stuff. "Death of Me" I played the guitar solo on. I was in their video. You can look that up for the project. It's a pretty cool song. Dahlia's getting all kinds of compliments tonight. Chronica Steelhorse. Dahlia is beautiful. I mean, she's a goddess. She is a goddess. Chronicus, what part of San Diego Steven Pearcy grew up? He grew up down off of, his parents' house was off of SeaWorld Drive. So down pretty far south. And, I knew Steven's mom. She really loved me. She was always, said, you need to play with Erik. But, she's known me. His mom knew me from when I was a little kid, and just super awesome lady. His sisters, and, he grew up with, he did have a brother, Bill, but he had mostly older sisters. And, back in the 70s, that used to be like the party house where there would be backyard parties, and Chris Hager and, everybody, they had their Mickey rap band. And Steven used to play the Spirit, which is now the Brick by Brick. You probably guys might have heard of, but Steven's big funny story he likes to tell is how the Spirit had paid his band to leave because they were too loud. He loves that. He loves telling that story. Spicoli wants a little Diamond Dave, and I can't not give him the Diamond Dave. Let's see. J-Rad, that venue Knuckleheads in Kansas City is really unique. Is that a nice way of saying that? It's a little, no, I know Knuckleheads. I played Knuckleheads before with Steven, haven't I? Let me see. The Trish a Kiss. That's my friend Chris's bar in Parker, Colorado. See you there. Oh, awesome. Well, I'm excited that you're going to be there. And I'm sure Pump 5 will be super excited about it. Steve Leslie. You ever meet Crosby? You ever see any celebrities living across from Steven? Yeah, I see what you're saying there. Steven moving in across from you still blows my mind. I was a Ratt fanatic as a teenager, and I couldn't imagine. No, it was like a huge deal. I mean, it was before Reach for the Sky. It was between like Dancing Undercover and Reach for the Sky, and dude just like moved in across the street. It was like pretty mind blowing, especially in that time. I just started playing guitar and would see him walking his dog, and I would like grab my little crate amp and I would just crank it up and start doing dive bombs and get his attention. He'd be like, what? He'd be walking his dog. He'd be like, where the hell's that coming from? And then, he ended up managing my bands for a minute, and later, 27 years old, got the gig, or 28. Did I ever meet Robin Crosby? Yes, I have met Robin Crosby. There's a show you guys can look up on YouTube, a Ratt show. If you look up Ratt at the Whiskey in, I believe it was like 1990 or 1991. And the whole show's there. I was there. I was like 17, I think, 17 years old. And I I knew Steven obviously, but he was supposed to have put me on the list, and I wasn't for whatever. But I BS'd my way in there. I said I wrote for some school newspaper or some magazine. I said they let me in, but got to see Ratt play the whiskey with all the original dudes, and it's up there. You guys can watch it too, and it'll be like you were there with me when I was 17. But it was a really cool memory of seeing him in there, and I believe like after I think I got to go they were to their hotel or something, and I think Robin was sitting there and he was just kind of like, "Rrr." I didn't talk to him for a minute, but met him there, and but it's cool that I got to like see the whole actual original dudes do their thing. Mr. Craig Cashew, so cool to hang out online for so long. Can't wait for the next show. This was great. Yeah, we do. I mean, we do this every week. I mean, not to downplay it or anything, but anyways, okay. So Jerome's letting us know the show's over as per the usual. All right, Eric, had fun watching the lights. I see you on Tuesday. That's how we gauge when the show's over, folks. When Jerome Loves Disney says it's over, that's when it's over. And thank you, Jerome, for letting us know it's that time. Everybody, that was a really good hang with Pete tonight. Thank you so much, everybody that came tonight. I appreciate all of you. Be cool, be kind to each other. Take the high road whenever possible, like I did tonight, right? Anyways, yeah. Pretty princess. I forgot to throw pretty. I didn't have any pretty princesses here. It was just me and Pete. But anyways, thanks guys. Thanks for subscribing. I'm hoping to hit the 2,000 subscribers. Help me do that this month. Tell people about the channel. Thank you, and we'll see you guys Tuesday for the Fright Bite at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right.